right, we're hot.
Sports talk from start to finish. You're going wire to wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
Morgan Square Madness is here, downtown Spartanburg. It is time. Tuesday. Yeah, I know it snuck up on us. I know it got rescheduled because of the hurricane, but it's a beautiful, and I mean absolutely beautiful Tuesday in downtown Spartanburg, where we are live for Morgan Square Madness, a concert, a celebrity free throw shooting contest that Diesel and I will try our absolute best in. But the USC Upstate Spartans will be showcased in glory today. We're so glad to be with you. It's Wire to Wire. He's Diesel. I'm Cole Bryson. I have an absolute treat for you, Diesel. You're going to get to see the best free throw shooting you've ever seen in your entire life. I hope you've practiced. I don't know how many Papa shots you've taken in the last 36 days, but you better be ready. What a show we have coming for you today.
Yeah, this event is, it's a mainstay. It's such a fun thing they do every single year here in downtown Spartanburg. This is your chance to meet the USC Upstate Spartans men's and women's basketball teams. Bring the kids down here, get some autographs, let them shoot around, let them play. It's going to be an absolute ball, man. There's food trucks everywhere right in front of us. We're seeing a catered meal being set up. This is, one of those events where Spartanburg goes all out and it shows. It's one of those crown jewel events for downtown Spartanburg that they do every single year.
It's a lot of fun, man, and it could not happen without Ingles Markets. We all love Ingles. We're looking at the basketball court right here in downtown, and on the backboard, Diesel, Ingles, on the backboard, you say it a lot, Ingles is on everything, and it is true. Ingles does a fantastic job putting on this event. So if you are a Tolo and you live or work in the Spartanburg area, number one, Morgan Square Madness, you don't want to miss it tonight. This is a Upstate Spartans basketball team, men's and women's, that are going to be a lot of fun to watch this year. You can meet the team. I'll tell you all about it in a second. But also, come by, see Diesel and I. We're sitting right outside Delaney's Irish Pub. Shout out to Delaney's. They're the absolute best. We've got some great appetizers here, Diesel. Well, we had some great appetizers.
Yeah, there's not much of them left.
What happened to those cheese fries? Where'd they go?
It looks like a truck ran over them because, it's just scattered mess now.
It is.
Now that we've all picked through it, we still have a big old tray of fried pickles, though, in front of us.
What's the deal? I mean, we can see which one's better.
Oh, okay. I thought you were making a spice joke there about what's the deal.
No, I'm just saying, well, it's a good one. I'm just saying the pickles are untouched almost. Evan from promotions, Marco from sales. For whatever reason, the pickles are not being touched like the cheese fries, but a big day. Come by and see us.
Don't tell me twice.
I was going to say,
I'm gonna do one right here on camera.
Do it. Speaking of on camera, we're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Not only can you listen to Wire, you can watch the program. So here's the rundown. At 5 o'clock tonight, there will be a concert featuring an Asheville-based R&B artist, Lyric, presented by who? You want to guess?
Ingles.
That's the magic answer today. Student Zone. It is presented by the South Carolina Army National Guard. It opens at 5 o'clock as well. There will be giveaways available at the Ingles fan services tent near the fountain, including T-shirts, adults and students, mini basketball for kids, food trucks opening, as Diesel said, featuring selections from Rigsby's, Salsaritas, Jeremiah's Italian Ice. A huge night, and at 6 o'clock, Morgan Square Madness begins, powered by
Ingles.
8:20 to 9 o'clock. Guess what? The party's not over. DJ Shea dance party on the court. That's right, the basketball court turning into a dance party at 8:20. Student Zone presented by the South Carolina Army National Guard. You can hang out with those guys at the National Guard as well. And did Diesel mention food trucks? The food trucks are going to be galore tonight as well.
Cole, I didn't know that you could dance on all those bricks that you're going to be laying out there as you're clanking them off the backboard, clanking them off the rim, missing entirely. It's been a while since I've shot on a real basketball goal. Do a little pop-a shot. I'm pretty good at that. So I might have a little bit of an advantage on you. I don't know. Can you even get it to the rim?
Well, we're going to find out. Supposedly, and I'm glad Diesel brought that up, the word on the street is, and speaking of the street, we are sitting right outside Delaney's Irish Pub right here in downtown Spartanburg. Word on the street is, Diesel, that For whatever reason, USC Upstate has chosen you and I to participate in the celebrity free throw contest later this evening. I'm not sure. I know Jeremy Clements, Xfinity NASCAR driver, will be a part of it. I'm not sure who else will be. But you and I, listen, we have to hold our own in this thing, man.
Are our free throws worth 2 points, 3 points, 4 points? That might be our only chance going head-to-head against these USC Upstate Spartans.
We hadn't even practiced. That's the whole problem.
That's true.
We have not even had a chance to practice. So if you want to see Diesel and I brick some free throws, I will say this. I was thinking about this. I just got here about 1:30 today. Diesel, Evan from promotions was setting up, and I'm thinking, man, this free throw contest, I can't embarrass myself, right? I've got to come out here and at least look formidable. I called a good buddy of mine who does colored commentator, who's the colored commentator for the Burns Rebels, Lane Fowler, who's the basketball coach at Burns. I said, Lane, I need to know. I said, what are your tips? He said, Cole, use your knees.
Yep.
Use your knees. Make sure you use your knees.
It's all in the wrist.
Yeah, it's in the wrist. He said, make sure you use the front of the rim. So look, he said, look, everybody knows. If you know me, I'm not the basketball prowess out here. I'm not the basketball guy. I watch it. I love it. I could watch it all day long, but I don't play it, right? I'm short and I'm white. Let's be honest here. So the celebrity free throw contest will be later tonight. I believe at 6:40, 6:45, something like that. Tolos, you do not want to miss that. It's going to be really, really entertaining. And Madcraft's already taking shots at you.
Yeah, Tolos, who do you think will win the celebrity free throw contest? If it's just Cole and I competing against each other, really, I think, Cole, we should take the Dabo Sweeney approach. We're competing against ourselves. You can't lose if you're just competing against yourself, right? Even if you hit 0, that's fine. That's fine because you haven't touched a basketball. You haven't shot at a real goal in years. So you have no idea what you're capable of or not capable of, as it were. So we're competing against ourselves, not against all these people. Man, that'll be nerve-wracking, I think. We're trying to take shots with all these people around us.
Even better than that, I say we take the approach of we're both going to stink it up. So let's use our combined score. We're a team here, wire to wire. He's Diesel,
that's
I'm
good.
Cole Bryson. Let's use our combined score and try to go that. I don't know if they will allow that or not, but I'm just saying that's my hope and that's my prayer.
Do you think you're going to have to jump to make the shots?
No.
Are you going to stand there?
We're doing free throws.
Yeah, free throws.
No, I'm not going to jump.
Oh, yeah, we've been playing like Pop Warner, whatever they call Pop Warner basketball. You jump.
I'm good
on the free throws as long as you don't cross the line.
I am very, very confident in the free throw. Again, it might be confidence that's that has no substance, but I am confident. We will also today be joined by Matt Martin, Lenny Mathis. Matt Martin's the AD at Upstate. Lenny Mathis, the associate AD. Lenny does a fantastic job. He's a Tolo. He listens to Wire to Wire. He always texts me and tells me that he's listening. We have Upstate players and coaches on throughout the year as well. He'll join us. Jeremy Clements, Xfinity NASCAR driver who's based right here on Spartanburg. He will join us as well. We'll have USC Upstate coaches. Charlene Nelson, who has organized this event. We've been told that we might talk to Mayor Jerome Rice Diesel as well as Alan Smith with the Chamber of Commerce and Tourism. So a lot of Spartanburg folk that we're going to talk to today, Tolos. Again, don't be a Tolo that just listens. Make your way out here today. We are in downtown Spartanburg, sitting right outside of Delaney's. I think we have the best spot in the house, don't you?
It's true, man. We're right here. We're looking out over this massive area where people are going to be hanging out, having some drinks, having a good time. We're looking straight down the court, straight at the basketball goal. I don't think you can.
I can make it from here, Diesel.
No, I don't even know you could. I don't even think I could throw one that far, to be honest. So this is going to be an interesting challenge. Maybe we can get some coaching, some tips, some help from the Upstate Spartans.
We're going to need more than that, by the way.
Yeah, well, probably so. You're probably
a ladder.
Yeah, something like that. I haven't been able to touch the rim, Cole, since they raised it all the way to 10 feet. Maybe on a 7-foot goal, I think I could dunk, but I couldn't even come close. I don't even know if I could touch the net from here.
I'm looking at it.
I'm getting to that age, Cole, where if I try, I'm gonna hurt my knee. I'm gonna pull a hamstring. I'm gonna go all Deshaun Watson and have Achilles rupture on me. Yeah, sorry to bring that image back up, but yeah, no, we're set to have a really, really good time here today. The weather, like you were saying earlier, is absolutely perfect. It's sunny and 75 degrees where we're sitting right here. We're in the shade underneath these beautiful oak trees. in downtown Spartanburg. And I got to tell you, man, I was pulling into Spartanburg, and I don't get to spend a ton of time here in Spartanburg.
That's your fault.
But, well, that's true. That's true. But, every time I come back, I find that I like it more and more every single time. The way that downtown Spartanburg is laid out in a big square where people are walking this way, that way, every different direction, and there's always something around every single corner. Spartanburg, what Spartanburg has going on for it is pretty special.
It's growing, man.
Yeah.
It's growing. I'll tell you this. I'm from here. I've lived here, my entire life except for a year and a half when I lived in Texas, Diesel. From the time I was growing up to now, downtown Spartanburg is absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic. It's growing, to your point. And, man, it's not Greenville. It's completely different. However, it's getting better and better every year. They're putting a ton of money into it. And again, shout out to Delaney's Irish Pub. That's where we're literally sitting right outside of. They got us some delicious cheese fries and fried pickles. I want to say thanks to Kevin and Dana, the owners of Delaney's. They hooked us up with that today.
By the way, voted the Upstate's favorite bar by listeners of this very radio station.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
really
it's huge, man. I remember when we were doing that challenge, Cole, and doing that contest, just the outpouring, the massive outpouring of support that this bar got, that so many of the different bars and restaurants that were on in that challenge got. And when there's a prize up for grabs, when there's some notoriety and some recognition up for grabs, man, the people of Spartanburg, they come out. Yeah, they show out. They shared the voting around everywhere, and we had hundreds of people voting every single day to make sure Delaney's won this whole thing.
And it's fantastic. It really is. Also, I want to ask the Tolos, since we're here in Spartanburg, and I asked Shane Beamer this that day. He came on the program as well. He declined to answer, being political. I get it. You don't want to ruffle any feathers. But to all of our Tolos out there that are listening right now, are you a Greenville Tolo or are you a Spartanburg Tolo? Because we've always, Diesel, since we started the show, we've really pushed the Tolo narrative of turn on, leave on. But we've never asked the Tolos. Like, we have Tolo on Tolo violence in the stream a lot, like the Clemson and Gamecock fans. But we've never asked them to really, create another layer under Tolo of I'm a Spartanburg Tolo, I'm a Greenville Tolo. So I want to know from you, 71307, start your text with the word fan. Are you a Spartanburg Tolo or are you a Greenville Tolo? DB says on the stream, I'm a Berg Tolo, Inman, technically.
Well, you're going to have Tolos now coming out of the woodworks and not claiming either one of those. We have Tolo Tim in Inman who texts our Taylors. We have Inman Tolos. We have Spartanburg Tolos. We have Tom in Somerville. We have Tolo. We love it when you Tolos tell us where you're Toloing from.
Yeah,
we love that.
We love. Madcraft says Spartanburgers unite. No comment on that.
I think the last time I saw Madcraft in the flesh was right here in downtown Spartanburg. Yeah, when they were unveiling the name of the Spartanburgers baseball team.
By the way, did you see what you passed earlier?
I saw the Spartanburgers sign right down there.
They have a store.
Wow.
Right there.
Wow, you want to get your gear? It's right down the street.
I'm going to take Marco's. Marco over there? I'm going to take Marco's credit card and go to the Spartanburger store in a minute, Diesel, for you and I both.
It's a write-off, right, Marco?
Yeah, you can write it off.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so thrilled to be downtown Spartanburg. You can hear the sirens. They're coming for Diesel, I believe. And
they're just telling everybody that something big's happening here today.
That's right. We want you to be a part of it. Nothing screams Spartanburg like sirens, right? We want you to be a part of it. Sorry, I had to. We want you to be a part of the event, Diesel, in downtown Spartanburg. Texter says Inman Tolo. That's 2 already in Inman. Are you a Spartanburg Tolo or a Greenville Tolo? Brian says I'm an Easley Tolo. What is that? Is that green? That's neither, right?
Is that in Pickens County? Is Easley in Pickens County? Yeah.
So
you're Pickens County.
So we're going over toward Pickens Anderson. I like it. I'm sorry for leaving that side of the earth untouched.
Wow.
I know we have a lot of Tolos all over the upstate.
I don't even know how to read this text, Cole. It says, I'm a Greenberg Tolo. House in Spartanburg County. Property taxes go to Greenville County schools. Greer is funny in places.
Wait a minute. Wait.
I thought first I read that he's Greer in funny places.
Greenberg Tolo.
Yeah.
So he lives in Spartanburg County.
Yep.
Property taxes go to Greenville County schools. So he lives. So he's saying he lives in Greer.
So he sends his, I guess.
That is weird. So Spartan
How about that?
Greer's Greenville County though. So how's your house? If you live in Greer, how is your house in Spartanburg County? Texter from the 907.
Maybe his kid's one of those transfer kids.
I don't know.
Portal kids.
God. Texter 907 says Travelers Rest Tolo. That would fall under the Greenville, right?
That would be, yeah.
Let's see. Amazon guy says Greenville Tolo, but I moved to Dacusville. Do you know where Dacusville is?
Isn't Dacusville north of Travelers Rest?
It is.
It's the same road. You just keep going out. You go through Dacusville. Yeah.
I don't think
I've fished
ever
up in Dacusville a couple times.
Well, there's not much there. First of all, it's kind of rural, right? I don't think I've ever had a Tolo say that they lived in Dacus. I think this is our first Tolo sighting in Dacusville.
Interesting.
As of right now. So Tolos, make your way out to downtown Spartanburg. Diesel and I would love to see you. We'll be here till 7 and maybe even a little later if Diesel and I don't know how, if we're going to get shamed off the basketball court.
If we start heating up, it's make it, take it, right? You stay on the court as long as you're hitting shots.
We might take the court over. Diesel,
Cole, it might take us an hour to play a game of Mississippi.
Oh God, let's not play. Let's play like
pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it over with a lot faster. Don't subject all these fine Spartanburg Tolos to watching us brick shots all night.
And by the way, the 380 says Greer is split into 2 counties. Thank you for that, Texter. Diesel, one thing that I found very humorous getting to sports, because, we are going to get to some sports today. We're going to keep it local for the most part. But right before we went on the air, I heard a promo play from some idiot who's a co-host on this show talking about Alabama. And I've got to go and delete a promo now because, one of the things that I've always said is that when you're right, it's okay. You don't have to claim like, hey, I was right about this. It's okay to say you were right. But when you're wrong, say you're wrong, right? We talked about this briefly the other day, but I might have been wrong. I might have been wrong on Alabama. I had a promo running where I said during one show one day that I didn't think Alabama was going anywhere. I didn't think the Kalen DeBoer train was going to go off the rails.
Foolish
and I
boy.
heard the promo right before we went on the radio. And I'm thinking, it might be time to delete that one.
Yeah.
Might be time to throw that one in the trash. It's so fascinating that, and I think we touched on this yesterday. It's so fascinating that we are so quick, Diesel, to judge and dismiss and appoint, like good or bad, programs that have risen or programs that have fallen. In Alabama, I think it's fair to put them down a level right now. I'm going to delete the promo just so you know, because I believe I was wrong there.
You don't want to just sit there and float around in it for a couple days? No.
I think I'm wrong, man. I think I'm wrong.
Ooh.
I think Bama's done. I think Kalen DeBoer is going to turn out to be a good coach, but I don't have faith right now today that Kalen DeBoer is going to be more than a good coach.
That's the ultimate hard thing about following the legend, right? That's an old saying. You don't want to be the guy that follows the guy.
You don't.
You want to be the guy that follows the guy that followed the guy.
That's right.
You let that guy fail, take all the heat. You get to come in as the savior, and now you're a better program than you were for the last 5, 6, 10 years, potentially under Kalen DeBoer. But, I still have a tremendous amount of faith in Kalen DeBoer to turn things around at Alabama. Look, it's his first year.
I'm knee-jerking. Look, you see my knee?
Games, yeah. Oh, Overreaction Monday was yesterday. That was yesterday.
I'm ready to, put him in the grave.
Yeah.
I just have no faith.
So are a lot of people who wear crimson red.
Let's see. Texter says 903 Wake Forest Tolo. So Tolo listening in Wake Forest, North Carolina. I appreciate you listening to the show. Texter says part of Greer is Spartanburg County. DMV is in Greer. DMV in Greer is in Spartanburg, for example. Texter, this comes from Tolo Will. Tolo Will says Boiling Springs. Go to Delaney's and get a pint of Holiday Brewing, 4 different beers on tap. Tolo Will, we better see you here, man. I don't know if we've met you before, but if we have not, we would love to meet you here at the Morgan Square Madness. Again, Diesel and I are sitting right outside Delaney's Irish Pub, October 22nd. That's today. There's a concert coming up at 5 p.m. More madness at 6 o'clock. There will be a celebrity free throw shooting contest with Diesel and I. We don't know how we will fare, but we're going to give it our absolute best.
I think it's going to be more of a celebrity free throw attempting contest.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, let's call it that.
Rather than that's like when I say, I go fishing, not catching sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
You're attempting instead of shooting. But It's going to be a lot of fun. We want to hear from you, and also to let you know, we will have a lot of guests today during the show sporadically, beginning around 3:30, 4 o'clock. So stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is going to be your chance to come out and meet the Upstate Spartans men's and women's basketball teams. Your first opportunity to get FaceTime with them. Those of you who live right here in Spartanburg, go see a couple of games this year. Come out and meet the teams first. Hey, speaking of women's basketball, Cole, we know that the WNBA had a massive season when it comes to ratings this year. Well, they're now asking for that bag. They're asking to be paid. We'll talk about that next. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Will it pay off for them? That's coming up next right here on 97.7 FM in Spartan in Greenville, 97.1 FM in Spartanburg, and everywhere you are on the free Odyssey app.
If you're man enough. 844 Fan Phone. This is Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. It's Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson live here in downtown Spartanburg, directly in front of Delaney's. The party really gets going in earnest around 5 o'clock today, but you can come on down here right now. Cole will give you a free fried pickle. I promise you. He'll just let you take one right there.
Man? I don't know why. Like, they're kind of, let me say this quietly so I don't get shot. Fried pickles are overrated, right?
What?
Do people like fried pickles?
I love fried pickles.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Do you like fried pickles? Yeah. See? Do you like fried pickles? See? Cole, you're in the minority, man. You don't understand. Yeah, he had a load of fries. Everything here delicious. Go in there and Delaney's, get some food, man. That's good. What they got going on here. But Cole, the WNBA had a gigantic season this past year, thanks to one player. No, it's not Asia Wilson. No, it's not the stars that played in the WNBA finals. We know why the WNBA had a gigantic boost in ratings and revenue this year, and it's all because of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark came into this league, took it by storm, and made everybody start to pay attention to the WNBA for the first time, really. And now the WNBA wants more money. They want to get paid more. They are now opting out, Cole, of their contract. The WNBA Players Association is choosing to opt out of their bid of their contract with the WNBA to secure higher salaries and better working conditions. Now, I want to talk a little bit in this segment. Do we think that's a good idea? Do we think this bold strategy is going to work out for them after one season of phenomenal ratings? And I'm not trying to take away from all the seasons that existed in the WNBA before.
Yeah.
I'm trying to guess. I'm going to say the WNBA has been active for like 25 years.
Yeah.
I'm not
maybe
entirely
sure.
Or
something close.
4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, 24, 25.
No, a bit more.
But Cole, like, they're, like I said, they're dealing with unprecedented ratings. And I wonder if now is the right time for the WNBA to go ahead and say, you know what? We're willing to do a work stoppage if we don't get what we want. Your initial thoughts?
No,
it's not the right time?
No. You asked the question? Any question about this? No. They have to be affiliated with NBA. They have to be more affiliated, more in bed with NBA teams. There's all this like, hey, we can stand on our own. No, you can't. You can't stand on your own.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? What is the point?
Well, the point is they're looking for increased salaries, number one.
Nice.
Number two, they're looking for better working conditions, improved minimum standards for their travel situation, for their facilities whenever they go somewhere. Like, remember you'd hear those stories that at the Olympics or at this event or at that event, the men's locker rooms are plush and they're adorned and they're fantastic. And the women's room has like one rack of shabby weights in their locker room and in their workout facilities. So they're asking for increased standards for that. And of course, they're asking for some different things like, an expansion of the league's retirement plan, greater family planning support, which I'm totally fine with some of those things, Cole. I just wonder if now is the right time to do what it is they're doing and essentially threaten to stop playing the sport.
Sure, and that's the whole thing. Like, what makes you after one season, after 1 year of Caitlin Clark, single-handedly carrying the league on her back, even though she didn't – look, she was good enough to provide these ratings, but she wasn't good enough, by God, to make the freaking Olympics. But she's good enough to be the face of the WNBA, and the only reason the WNBA is having this conversation, I would like to know, Diesel, take Caitlin Clark out of the – and again, I know
Let's say she's still a senior at Iowa.
Here's the argument I hear from a lot of people. The argument that I hear from a lot of people is, it's not just about Caitlin Clark. It's not just about it's about Asia Wilson. It's about other players in the league. It's about the players who are performing night in, night out that aren't named Caitlin Clark. Well, my response to that would be, okay, let's see some data. Let's see some numbers. Let's also go back and have the conversation of, would we even be having this conversation of you wanting to go out on your own or however you want to call it if it weren't for Caitlin Clark? Because I would bet the answer would be no.
Well, that's exactly what I would challenge the WNBA to do at this point. Now, they're a lot of what they do in their league is subsidized by the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
And it's got to be.
yeah, it's got to be subsidized by the NBA. I think it would be a nightmarishly bad decision, kind of like going for a fake punt on your own 20-yard line, 4th and 10,
God.
if you're Oklahoma playing against South Carolina. It's just that level of boneheaded decision, Cole. But look, if I would respect the WNBA more if the decision was we want to break away from the NBA, not be associated with them in any way, shape, or form. We want to go it on our own and see if we can stand on our own as a league. But that's not what they're attempting to do, Cole. They're just attempting to extort more money out of the NBA. Now, again, I give the WNBA credit for seeing a huge bump in ratings, and they got themselves a nice, big, fat new media rights deal that has multiplied the league's TV revenue for years to come, Cole. And, I guess they're trying to extract more money out of that league TV revenue contract. They're not, I don't believe they're attempting to extract more out of the NBA. I think they're just trying to extract a bigger portion out of that TV revenue.
Well, the reality is they need more from the WNBA needs more, in my opinion, from the NBA. I think it does. The NBA is in a spot where I do believe the NBA has been very, very beneficial to the WNBA, but just as I'm critical of the WNBA, Diesel, I also think the NBA has to realize and recognize that if they want these two to work in correlation with each other and the NBA to grow because of the WNBA and vice versa, they're going to have to fund more. They're going to have to be a bigger part of the WNBA's growth. I just don't see how the WNBA takes the next step, because we were reading articles not long ago about how the WNBA, despite the ratings, they were still broke. The franchises were still broke.
Yeah.
They still didn't have the money. My point is, I feel as if the NBA, they need to do more. And again, it's a tough conversation to be had, because at the end of the day, you've got to carry you've got to have the talent to showcase to get the ratings. But I think the NBA has enough resources to help.
Yeah, so to your point, we have a couple of texters who are getting in, and we'd love to hear your thoughts about what's going on. Text in 71307. Start your text with keyword fan. Texter says the WNBA lost $40 million this year.
That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead and strike players. I dare you. Another texter says the WNBA is owned or subsidized to the tune of 75% by the NBA. Still lost $40 million this year. Good call, ladies. Another texter says, my initial thoughts are how funny it is that everybody hated on Caitlin Clark so much, beat her up physically in the games, and now with the ratings being up because of her, they want more and are going to get it.
Yep.
They should be kissing her, you know what.
I agree.
Yeah.
Is that wrong? I mean,
no,
who
you're not
sent
wrong.
that? Who sent that?
You're not wrong. Look, I mean, stars always elevate the league, right? The NBA was a fine entity that it was making a good profit, I'm sure. And then Kareem came along and made more people watch. And then Magic came along and elevated that. And then Jordan came along. And then LeBron came along. And all these players come along, and it just elevates every step of the way. The more and more you can market these stars. So the NBA needs to do WNBA needs to do a tremendously better job of marketing the stars that are coming out of women's college basketball every year. Certainly, just like it is with the NBA, you're not going to have a Caitlin Clark type of player coming out every single year. But if you can maybe put some lipstick on the pig and convince some people that you've got elite, can't miss talent coming out of women's college basketball every year, once a decade, you're going to hit on one of those crazy talented players that just cannot be denied.
Think.
Yeah. Another texter says, let them agree to a new deal for higher wages and prices and have Caitlin Clark quit the league and watch it all burn when their ratings are gone.
Again,
very interesting point.
Well, again, I go back to were any other stations, was anybody, Diesel, was anybody prior to Caitlin Clark talking about the WNBA? Was Stephen A. Smith on First Take talking about the WNBA? Was ESPN? No.
No.
The answer was no. Come on. I mean, it's very simple. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the other players in WNBA because I've watched a handful of games. There are good teams and really good players in the WNBA, but let's just call a spade here. It's Caitlin Clark's league. We're talking about it because of her.
Yeah. We got a lot of Tolos who are getting in their thoughts at 71307. Start your text with keyword fan. One texter says, it's the WNBA. Who cares? Another texter says, if Cole can name 10 players without Google, I'll care.
Then you're not going to care.
Can you name 4 besides Asia Wilson, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese? Can you name one more actively playing in the WNBA?
To the texter's point, he's not going to care. I'm not going to care because I don't watch. And look, I know people might say, well, how are we going to grow the sport if you don't care? For the record, let me be very clear here so you and Chesney can understand what I'm saying here. I don't care about the WNBA. I'm not going to watch.
He doesn't care. He doesn't want to care.
No.
You can't make him care, which, there's a promo that runs from our friends Rob Brown and Lonzo on their show where Rob says, if you're going to come after me for not watching the sport and talking about the sport the way that you want me to talk about your sport, I'm just going to quit talking about your sport altogether. Yeah. And there has been at times some adversarial words and mindset and way of talking about it. Shame on you, Stephen A. Smith, for not talking about this game more. Well, if you're going to say shame on me for not talking about your game more and marketing your game for you on my massive platform, I'm going to stop talking about it altogether.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's this pity, woe. It's a very bad mindset that a lot of people have taken.
Were you about to say woe is me?
Well,
more like woke is me.
Well, that's a good point. That's a very good point. So it's interesting that they're taking this approach. I'll say this, to put a bow on it. They need Caitlin Clark. None of this could happen without her. And again, all the other players, they're great. They're fantastic, whatever you want to say. But this is Caitlin Clark's league. That's just the bottom line.
Well, and to the point, why are they asking for more money? You're getting paid to play a game. Yeah, you are getting paid to play a game. The maximum salary that a player can make, that is the veteran supermax salary in the WNBA.
Yeah.
It's $240,000.
Yeah.
Like that's a considerable amount of money to a lot of people. And you're trying to tell them that we're not going to play because we don't like making more money than you'll ever make in your lifetime.
Take it.
And so that's where you get a considerable resentment from a lot of fans. And those are your blue collar fans. That's who you need to watch your sport. If you're relying, Cole, on activists to make up your audience,
good luck.
Sorry, good luck. They're going to be on to the next cause like that. Good
freaking luck's what I tell you. I agree with you. I agree with some of you texters as well. And sorry, I'm not going to name the NBA players because I don't watch. Sorry, Tom. I think that was all caps. It had to be Tom, right? It had to be Tom that was texting in. Tom's the only one that texted in all caps like that. Tolos, I'm glad you are participating on the text line. I need your help. In the very next segment, I'm going to ask the question from you expert free throw shooting Tolos out there. Later this evening, Diesel and I will be in a celebrity free throw shooting contest. I've already asked a good buddy of mine, I need your best advice when it comes to shooting free throws. Maybe you are really good at basketball, maybe you're not. I don't care. What is your best advice you can give Diesel and I when it comes to free throw shooting? We need all the help we can get. We do not want to be the celebrities out here that are just throwing up bricks, creating new roads here in Spartanburg and downtown Spartanburg because of how bad we're shooting the basketball. Tolos 71307. We need to hear from you next.
Upstate.
It is here, the Morgan Square Madness event that you have all been waiting for, presented by Ingles Markets, USC Upstate. Lenny Mathis is going to join us right now, as he has done a fantastic job putting this event together, Associate AD at USC Upstate. And he's going to tell you all about the event, and we're going to get his mic cranked up in here in just a second. Lenny, let us know if you can hear Diesel and I.
Sure can.
Perfect.
Love it.
Perfect. Well, so I went to break, Lenny, with the question for the Tolos for our listeners out there of best free throw shooting advice. Because Diesel and I, you've placed us in this free throw shooting contest later today. Could you give us your best advice?
Well, we've slightly changed it a little bit. It's a free throw shooting contest, but it's knockout. So you understand how to play knockout,
we do.
Right? Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're playing knockout. Now the good news is the two of y'all are playing knockout against each other and several other people, which
I'm going to win that.
Which I think is even more exciting because the two of you get to really have bragging rights for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best news for you is Megan Heidelberg is not able to be here tonight because she's won the free throw shooting contest 2 years in a row. So that's really good news
That's
for
good
y'all.
news.
Yes.
That's good news.
Yeah.
So the knockout, is it from the free throw line or the
free throw line?
Oh, that's easy.
I
say that. Never mind. Let me back up. Let me retract those words.
I don't know if we'd be here all night or we would be very short if we were doing it from the 3-point line. But nevertheless, it'll be fun. We got Jeremy Clements, our Spartanburg-based Xfinity NASCAR driver, supposed to be here. We got some other dignitaries from the community that are going to be in the Lyric, who's doing the concert here starting at 5:00. Who just walked by me. She shot in the free throw shooting contest last year, so.
Are you going to be in the contest, Lenny?
No. The statute of limitations on me being in any contest. I just make up the contest with my staff. I don't actually participate in them.
He says if he's in it, it's not fair, and he's going to be there. He's going to wipe the floor with everybody because he lives in the gym.
That's right, Lenny.
I live in the gym. I just want to shoot basketballs.
Which of these Tolos advice do you like the best? Matt J on the text line says, ain't too proud for a granny shot. Amazon guy says, have a routine for every free throw. Keep it the same no matter what your routine is. Twisted Whisker says, if you guys are asking for advice the day of the competition, then you might just need to stick with granny shots. Best advice when shooting free throws, says one texter, make them. Diesel,
that's sage advice right there. Yeah.
That's what you get with our
and then I've got a Tolo who wants me to go Anthony Mason style and go one hand.
Okay. Well, in knockout where you have to make it fast, the granny shot's going to be a little hard to execute.
You gotta flick the wrist.
And
you know,
it's all about the spin.
If all else fails, you can always just try to throw it at the person in front of you's
them
ball
out.
and knock them. Yeah,
literally knock them out.
But then the only problem with that is you got to go chase your ball down. And
I'm going to
give you one tip.
At Cole?
I will give you one tip. Okay, Morgan Square is a 1% grade that way.
I can tell.
Yes, so the ball is going to go at the fountain that way. When the ball, if it goes to the left, you clank it. If you clank it left, sprint.
It's like fielding.
Luckily, there'll be a crowd of people that'll stop it for you before it gets to the fountain. But nonetheless,
it's like fielding a pop fly in baseball. Your first step is always back because it's faster to run in.
First step is left here.
First step is left.
Lenny, tell us about this fantastic event. We know we talked to Marty Richter earlier in the season.
Okay.
At Ingles about the upcoming season and the women's team as well. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Talk about this event and what it means for the community.
Yeah. So 3 years ago, our leadership, the chancellor and Chris, Dr. Benny Harris, and Chris Taylor, our chief of staff, they had the vision of wanting to create an elevated event that brings the community together, brings the corporate community together, brings kids together, brings our teams and our student athletes together, brings our alumni, everybody. And this is an event built very similarly to what you would see in the Grove at Oxford for Ole Miss does something. They just did tip off at Tumors in downtown Auburn for Auburn. I mean, and I'm if you haven't seen where we're sitting at, to come from a flat spot to what we have set up out here, it is a Power 4 level looking event, right? I mean, it is we've got a DJ, we've got live music, we've got a video board set up, we've got, the light show, we've got, all even the VIP tent, which you're right outside of here. We've got other, I think you mentioned it early when you went on the air, we've got our food vendors with Salsaritas and Rigsby's and whatnot. The first year we did this, and I was like, what is this going to look like? When I got done with it, I was like, well, this is one of the two coolest things I've done in 22 years in college athletics. Like, it was so cool. Now, then you had to redo it again. And now this year is year 3. So, the crowds keep growing. We've added some seating. We're probably about tapped out on how big this event can get in this space. So we do kind of have we do have something up our sleeve for later tonight that we're going to unveil during the event. So we're excited about the future of Morgan Square Madness and what our university wants to be engaged, obviously, with the community. Clearly, we want to be engaged with the downtown area as well. The campus is 3.5 miles to the north. So, we want to make sure that we have that touch point. And this is really the signature of that. And, this was supposed to be October 3rd.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hurricane Helene threw a monkey wrench not only in this, events plan, but in all thousands of other people's more important plans than this. It also is a part of Family and Alumni Weekend. So for the university community, this kicks off a week, and it would have kicked off the same week back in early October, and it happens to this week again. So we try to tie in a lot of things within this and use this as the anchor for it.
Lenny, can you give us a sense of the outlook on these two teams, the men's and women's teams at USC Upstate? What kind of quality teams are we looking at this year?
I'll start with the women. They really, Jason Williams has done a great job of building a culture and building, his team. And year by year, they've continued to get better. They made the WNIT last year, had a home game in the WNIT. Had to battle through some injuries near the end of the year. I think they played 12 games in a row. Like at some point.
Welcome to Spartanburg.
Yeah, it's live radio, right?
Is that somebody parking your car?
No. Jettas don't sound like that, buddy. I think they're kind of in a let's run it back. We lost a couple of key pieces, but they feel really good about the people they have coming back. So let's run it back and they can make a run at it. I think we were the 2 seed going into the tournament last year, so let's go run it back. As far as Coach Richter goes, obviously new staff, and you talked to him. I mean, we have a whole new team, right? So he's meshing guys that have come from all over the country into kind of one unit, and they're going to be a high energy, up and down type deal, and I think they're going to be exciting to watch. You said I live in the gym. I live in the gym that has the building. I don't have a chance to watch a lot of practices with what I do, but I do know that they're getting after it every day. They have the early morning time. They are 7:30 a.m. practice, and they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. And the preseason poll is what it is. Nobody has any earthly idea who we are, right? And I think there's something kind of cool about that. We don't. Well, there's if expectation is what it is. The expectation is what you put on yourself, right? So I know they're gonna get after it, and they're gonna play an up tempo style with a lot of energy. So
Lenny, we've got to run. Can you hold through the break and spend a few more minutes with us, or
I can try. I will.
If you have to get to other things,
I may have to run down the block and run back.
Okay.
But
I'll
be
catch up with you.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask you about the things going on later tonight as well.
I'll. How long's your break?
We'll be back at 4:00.
Great.
4:00.
I can make that.
Perfect.
Sure.
Thanks, Lenny.
All right. Appreciate
Lenny Math, Associate AD, USC Upstate. And also, Diesel, Lenny doesn't know it yet, but in the next segment, I'm going to convince Lenny Mathis to enter in the Upset Picks Challenge.
Oh,
we need a new participant, don't we?
That's true. We do. We need one more every single day.
I've been looking this week, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been looking.
Yeah, you've been digging into these pretty hard.
I'm ready to.
Using your little mojo. All right, when we come back, we're going to tell you more about this event, everything that's going on here in Morgan Square Madness in downtown Spartanburg. Want to invite you guys out here by just telling you what a can't-miss event this is. That's coming up next right here on The Fan Upstate.
We're hot.
Electrifying sports talk from start to finish.
Set up here for Morgan Square Madness, downtown Spartanburg, where we're sitting our table right now just outside the front door of Delaney's Irish Pub, setting up for just a phenomenal event. Things really going to start here in just about 1 hour from right now with a concert featuring Asheville-based R&B artist Lyric, presented by Ingles. Such a fantastic event. We got Lenny Mathis to our left. He is the Associate AD of USC Upstate. Lenny, individually, like I know you can kind of look at each element of what's going on here at Morgan Square Madness, like it's a child, it's a baby. Which one of these elements is your favorite part of the event that you put on?
You stumped them.
I think it'd probably be just the game, like the games that we do. Somebody, I don't know if they said they were a fan of it or not, but nonetheless, they said it's like a halftime show that goes on for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's got kind of one event after another, and I think the way in which we partner with Jay Do and DJ Shea, who help us present this whole deal, and the way in which they take a script that we put together and then they breathe life into it and just kind of ad-lib it, which I'm kind of an ad-lib kind of guy. I'm getting text now for you. I'll tell you that one later.
Is that good or bad? Is he in trouble?
I'm supposed to give you a hard time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
one of your coworkers. Anyway,
I was gonna say, how did his mom get your number?
I think that's the coolest thing for me is to just kind of see the things become reality, and the having the student athletes ham it up with people and whatnot. I remember 2 years ago as this ended, we had sort of the dance party on the court, and we had one of the police officers from the city of Spartanburg was doing line dances with just random fans and cheerleaders and everybody else. It was just really cool how people just kind of let their hair down. And sure. I think with what we've kind of been through here in this area over the last few weeks, getting a chance to get out and do that and kind of let your hair down and have some fun is probably mentally good for all of us.
No doubt, man. I'm glad you brought that up. Especially good to see our friends Sienna and Ruby from Ingles Markets, who have been going through it a lot worse than we have. I'm glad you brought that up, Lenny. And our thoughts and prayers are still with those who are really, really affected in Western North Carolina. Diesel, where he's from, and went to college in App State and Boone. It's obviously areas up there a lot more impacted than what we were
absolutely.
Here. So, when you talk about this event, the students tonight, I know the teams will be here, but are the students encouraged to come out?
Yeah, we've got a shuttle from campus. We've got some other incentives for them, like from the food standpoint and whatnot. We've got some other interactives that we've added to the event this year that are to attract students and whatnot. So this is a student-driven event. Our student athletes come out for this event really well from other teams. So it's for everybody. It might not be on campus, but it's definitely for everybody.
Lenny Mathis, he is the Associate Athletic Director at USC Upstate, joining us here from Morgan Square Madness. Is now we're just 57 minutes away from events really getting kicked off here. Concert again coming up with Lyric, presented by Ingles here at 5 o'clock. DJ Shea's dance party on the court at 8:20. Morgan Square Madness itself begins at 6 o'clock. Now, you teased earlier, I'm going to see if we can extract a little information from you. You teased potentially some big things coming for future Morgan Square Madnesses. Obviously, that means we're going bigger and bigger, right?
That is the idea. Yes, we're not going to shrink the event. That is true. Yeah, I don't know that I want to let that cat out of the bag, but
when can we get that cat out of the bag?
That cat will get out of the bag about midway through this event tonight.
Speaking of cat out of the bag, we had this conversation, and I'm gonna put a lot of pressure on you right here, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but you know what?
Okay.
That wouldn't be the first time. Diesel and I interviewed the Spartanburgers, the general manager Tyson Jeffers, before the name was revealed, right before we were building up, and he played the role that you're playing right now very similarly. Diesel, remember that one? You know, we're not going to let the cat out of the bag. We're not going to, and everybody was expecting something big. And I don't know, again, if you were here, Lenny, when the name was revealed, but
I was not physically in town.
If
I
you
was
saw
driving back to town.
Yeah, if you saw the video, the reaction, we're just telling it like it is, telling what happened. It was not the best reaction when the name was announced. As long as the reaction isn't downsizing or having it, in a little hole in the wall across the street behind the Waffle House, I think we might be on the right track there. But when you have a secret, when you're building something up, It's got to be big. It's got to be fantastic. And I look, this event, that's what this is. It's big. It's fantastic. I'm looking around now. You talked about the video board, the basketball court. A lot of work that's gone into this as well.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people put their hard work into this to make it a reality and create a canvas out of the middle of Morgan Square. Morgan Square is an important part of downtown Spartanburg. It's been in this sort of setup for about 20 years, and there's been a lot that's happened out here. We've had a carousel out here. We've had ice skating out here. It is the center of the community. And to be able to do basketball in the center of the community, albeit on a roughly half court, to be able to do that is just really unique. And to watch people, like business people that are walking by, that may not have realized what is this, and this is really cool. It's people take pictures with it and whatnot. It's a unique thing, and it's cool to be a part of unique things. It's also cool to be a part of a place that gives you the bandwidth to do unique things. That's cool too.
Lenny, you were talking about culture earlier. In what ways have the students that come on campus really embraced the basketball team and the basketball program, and maybe picked up some elements of the Spartanburg culture, sort of that blue collar, in your face kind of attitude? Do you see that pervasive out of the student body? I mean, are they bringing the heat and the fire every single home game?
Well, yes, and I will tell you, we don't really have much of a choice in the Hodge Center but to be in your face. We do have the smallest gym in Division I, so we are in your face. And when our team is
or in your lap,
you're 3.5 feet behind the bench, but whatever. I think that is the advantage. It's unique, right? My last job was at Wake Forest before I came to USC Upstate, and that was the Joel Coliseum seats 14,000 and change. And I came to USC Upstate, and it seats 818. That was a little different, right?
A little different, yeah.
And but the effect on a game and the way our students and our fans engage with it, basically a quarter of the building is the student body, students that are in there, and they are loud and they're engaged and they're all part of it. And I think the really cool part about USC Upstate is our other student athletes and our other teams get behind each other, whether it's soccer, whether it's baseball, volleyball, and other teams going to volleyball matches, softball matches. They are all part of their own unit, and they support each other.
Sure.
Which is really, really neat to see, too.
Concert at 5 o'clock, March Madness. Morgan Square.
You're not the first person that said that over the years either.
Twice.
Yeah, that's okay. There's a kangaroo court jar somewhere around here, right?
Yes, it needs to be.
Okay.
Morgan Square Madness beginning at 6 p.m., but the concert starting at 5, as Diesel said, less than an hour from now. Lenny, before we let you go, I know you listen to the show, and I want to get you involved.
Okay.
Do you understand? And by the way, you mentioned Wake Forest. We had a Tolo earlier say he was listening from Wake Forest, North Carolina.
How about that? Yeah.
Do you understand how hard it is? We do every week. We do what's called the Upset Picks Challenge.
Okay.
And basically, long story short, you have to pick an underdog to win the game outright in college football. Do you understand how hard that is? I mean, Diesel and I
figured both of you had Vandy over Alabama, so that's pretty easy.
Yeah, right, right. Then we did not.
You didn't even have Vandy over Kentucky the next week, but that's neither here nor there.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I've only hit twice. Diesel, how many times have you?
Twice.
We've both only hit twice the entire season.
Out of what? 8 weeks? Out of 8 weeks.
So it's hard. It is really hard. Our Tolos who are in this Upset Picks Challenge, Diesel, they have, I believe, our winner. Or
leader has 55.5 points.
So the way it works is,
Okay.
let's say you hit an upset pick that's a 10-point underdog, like I did this past weekend. I picked NC State over Cal, 10.5 points. That's added to a running tally, and our Tolos continue to climb the leaderboard with the more and more upset picks they have.
Gotcha.
It's tough, man.
Okay.
But I'll encourage you, before Friday, find a game you like, and let's get Lenny Mathis entered in the Upset Picks Challenge. See how you do.
My compliance director might not love that as much as you guys do, but nevertheless.
Well, the way I look at compliance,
if it's out of conference, it's fine.
You ask for forgiveness.
We don't play football at Upstate, so
I mean,
that's exactly how it works, but okay.
What we'll do
Who is this mini left?
That's what I'm saying. We'll use an alias. and you know what? Compliance isn't listening to the fan. So I don't like compliance. I don't like HR. I'm not a fan of them. But they can get over it. You know what? They'll find a way to get over it. They'll find a way. And I know we lost signal for a second. But, Lenny, we appreciate you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks Lenny. That's Lenny Mathis, USC Upstate Associate AD. We appreciate his time here on the Fan Upstate. Here at Morgan Square Madness, Cole, there's a huge box of USC Upstate T-shirts over there to give away as fans and as community members, curious community members driving by here on Church Street over here, seeing what's about to happen. They're pulling over, Cole. They're finding themselves a spot to park, and they're going to come enjoy this event. We're set up here directly in front of the VIP tent. Those people are covered. They have a nice bit of shade, but hey, everywhere around here is shaded because we're sitting here under these gigantic oak trees that are keeping us nice and cool here, right directly in front of Delaney's Irish Pub. But yeah, you've got a T-shirt with your name on it if you get here early over here by the VIP hospitality tent. We've got Fan Upstate hats to give away, these highly coveted Fan Upstate hats. We've already given away 2 of them already today, Cole.
You know what?
They're a hot ticket item.
They're a hot ticket, and I want to apologize. We have had a couple of drops in connection. And just a shout out to Ben back in the Ingles Market Studios doing a fantastic job. We know we're back now. We are live. We are downtown. We are on remote. We are using a hotspot, and we apologize for that. But we'll try our best to maneuver this hotspot around in a better spot to keep this show afloat. Appreciate Lenny Mathis. Texter Diesel says from the 803, Lenny Mathis is one of the best to do it in college athletics. Administration world inspired me to get the sports marketing after an internship. Let me click on the rest of the text. At Walford, Lenny is the GOAT. This comes from Ty and Taylor's. How about that?
Well,
that's awesome.
Why didn't you read that while Lenny was sitting
That's
here?
my bad. That's my.
Oh, I thought you didn't want to inflate
No.
his head anymore.
I would have loved to read it. I just did not know. I will. Next time he swings by, though, I'll tell him. That's awesome, Ty and Taylor's. He is. You're right. He is one of the best to do it. I've known Lenny since he was at Walford before he went to Wake Forest. He's absolutely fantastic, and he's one of the best to do it. Y'all, this event, Tolos, this event is happening right now. This is big. I mean, this is really, really awesome. Diesel and I have been able to be a part of 2. We were at the Spartan Burgers, the name drop, the name reveal a few months back, and now this Diesel, downtown Spartanburg. I mean, this event, we're sitting right beside Delaney's, as you said, outside the Jumbotron video board, the band that's about to start. I don't know how well you can sing, but we might can join in about 30 minutes from now. The basketball court. Yeah, that's great. That's great. The basketball court, the VIP tent, and I don't know if you can still get tickets, but I believe you can. So the VIP ticket, the VIP tent, hospitality tent is right in front of us. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. And to Diesel's point, we have hats, we have shirts. This is a fantastic event, man. And it's going to, in about 30 minutes from now, it's going to start getting really, really crowded. So if you are in the Spartanburg area, we do not want you to miss this event tonight. By the way, Diesel, do you have I know we sometimes make time for this since we got a little time to kill right now. Have you started looking around this week, browsing the ESPN?
Yeah, I have. I've looked at a couple of different games, Cole, and believe it or not, I am considering picking against my own.
No.
Yeah, it's on the list.
No.
It's Georgia State +8 at App State. Here's the problem, Cole. Both of these teams are winless in conference. Both of these teams are 0-3. Yeah, somebody's going to come out of this unless the game ends in a 0-0 tie. They just kind of go, meh, at the end of it and say nobody wins. You both get half a one. How about that, Cole? No, this
I can't believe you doing that.
Well, I'm not saying that's my upset pick.
You're just looking
I'm
at
saying I am looking at
Okay.
it. It is on my list. It's one of those things that wouldn't surprise me, and look, I'm an App State alum. I've been around a lot of really, really good football from that program. You're a Clemson fan. A lot of really, really good football played there. And there comes those seasons, Cole, when you just don't have that level of faith in your team to get it done. It's
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, okay. So you know all about that, right? You're just always waiting for the other shoe to drop. I mean, I don't have any faith in this team. And it just seems like, okay, this is the year when a program that has never beaten App State on the field could get it done and beat App State on the road in Boone. So that's one of those things that kind of makes me nervous going into a game like that.
Tolos, let us know. Again, it's not open yet. The Upset Picks Challenge begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. But let us know, Tolos, what games you're eyeing, what games you've started looking at. I've started looking at a few as well, Diesel. I'll tell you this, man, I might be overconfident, and that might just be because I hit last week. But I'm telling you, there are some games this week that I really feel like are doable.
What point spread? If you were looking specifically at point spread and what you think you need to hit to advance in this challenge, what kind of point spread range are you looking for Like if it's below this number, not really all that interested in it.
I'm bad already.
You're going for the biggins.
Yeah, I'm at 10. Like 10's the minimum.
10. Oh,
10's the minimum. Like you've got to be 10. And real quick, Diesel, before we get to that, I wanted to show our Tolos on the stream who are watching what our view is. This is why you need to watch the stream. Look at this right here. So our view, you see Ruby, you see Sienna from Ingles Markets on the stream right now. We're going to go over to the VIP tent. They're waving at you. Wave at them. Our friends from Ingles, the VIP tent on the stream. In the background back there, Diesel, where you'll be balling out in about 2 hours from now.
Yeah,
basketball
making
court.
It rain, as they say.
Yeah, you better hope the clouds come quick. And then the band setups right there. There's Diesel. You can see him.
Hey.
You already see him on one screen, but we are sitting here. What a view. The VIP tent. If you are around the Spartanburg area, you've got to check this out. It's going to be fantastic. Diesel, I'm eyeing an ACC game this week. Another ACC game.
That's interesting.
Here's the game. 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Wallace Wade Stadium. Tell me what your thoughts are here. SMU 6-1. They're at Duke. Duke's also 6-1. SMU is an 11.5 point favorite.
Look at what I've got right there on my board as well. I've got this game. Yeah, if we're both picking it, then it's assuredly not going to hit.
Forget it.
No, SMU has a prolific offense. They score a lot of points, right? Duke has a suffocating defense this year. You look back at their last 5 or 6 games, Cole, and I don't think they've given up more than 17 points but once in the last 5 games. So Duke has a very, very good has a very, very good defense. They've got a serviceable enough kind of offense. And I'm telling you, if South Carolina had the same type of structure, the lights out defense, which they already have, and they had a serviceable offense, I think South Carolina maybe be a 1-loss team right now.
I'm with you. I just think that game, like you asked me the question, what the minimum is. I'm way behind in the challenge that, like, I've got to have Hail Marys. I've got to have the Hail Marys hit 3 or 4 weeks in a row to somehow work my way. And look, I'm not confident. I don't think it's a good strategy, but what else am I going to do here? Stay at the bottom of the leaderboard? I have to swing big, Diesel.
A texter says he is looking at Vandy over Texas because why the heck not? That's
Vandy
a big
over
one.
Texas.
That's a big one.
Ho. What's the spread on that game? Vandy.
I want to say it was like 24 points. Something like that. It was big. I did take a look at it.
It's not as much as I thought.
What is it?
18 and a half.
Only 18 and a half.
I thought it'd be 20-something.
The question is, is Quinn Ewers going to play, or is he retiring to go to the NFL? That's going to be an interesting game. That's an interesting one to look at, Cole. I looked at what if something weird happened? Oklahoma plus 20.5.
Ooh.
At Ole Miss. Think about it this way, Cole. It's Jackson Arnold's team now. His red shirt is burnt.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit of a reach.
Just let it rip.
If you need points, you might need to let it rip on that one. And in regards to that Texas Vandy game, Diego Pavia is a dude, right? He's shown himself to be a dude several times this year. Is he a dude? Is he enough of a dude to take down another top 10 team?
We're going to take a break.
Massive.
We will continue the conversation with our friends at USC Upstate in the very next segment. We're live at Morgan Square Madness. More interviews, more guests coming on the other side. This is the Fan Upstate. Morgan Square Madness. It is almost here. We have been talking about it now for an hour and 20 minutes or so, and we are going to continue to talk about it because it's happening right here in downtown Spartanburg. So good to be with you. He's Diesel. I'm Cole Bryson. This is Wire to Wire on the Fan Upstate, as we're going to continue to talk to several people from USC Upstate as this event, Diesel, the crowd is starting to pick up. The buzz is buzzing, and we're joined by Charlie-Ann Neslin of USC Upstate. She is the Director of Alumni Relations and Annual Giving. Did I get that name and title right?
Yes.
So far? I'm really good at messing up people's names.
That's okay.
So I think we're good there. Charlie-Ann, appreciate you joining us. Talk about, first of all, what you do at USC Upstate and how it relates to this event.
So I'm pretty much a friend builder, if you would. Okay. I'm here to bring everyone together, not only just our alumni or graduates of the university, but our entire community, our faculty, our staff, our community, future prospective students, government relations, just all things to bring friends into the university. And this is a great opportunity to do that. Is centrally located in the heart of downtown Spartanburg, and this brings the entire community together, builds our fan base, gives our fans an opportunity to fall in love with our players and our teams, and hopefully come out and support them during the season.
Charlie-Ann, the second half of your title is Director of Annual Giving. So how do events like this turn into money? Which is, I think, it's a big part of why you do things like
Which
this.
Diesel and I don't have, by the way.
No,
so
no.
don't get any ideas.
So again, it goes back to that friend building. We're wanting to build relationships first. Those type of opportunities will come later. But this is a great way. You see here we have sponsors. So that's another big part of my job, is bringing out sponsors to support events like this. Ingalls is our primary sponsor. We're powered by Ingalls, and we appreciate them very, very much. And also here we have Morgan Square Hospitality, who's sponsoring our VIP tent, and it's kind of our front lawn
Look at those
here.
cookies. Look at those cookies. Charlie,
He almost
sorry
sees
to
a wheelbarrow.
interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, but look at that. Did you see that?
I know.
That's the largest
Y'all see
plate
that?
of cookies and desserts I've ever seen.
It's like squirrel. It's like squirrel.
Wow.
It's like squirrel over here.
Yeah,
we're
like
supposed to be professionals, but
It's like those
that
scenes
looks
in the
incredible.
cartoons. Yeah, when the cartoon gets picked up onto the air.
Hey,
and starts.
Are you in
Yeah.
charge of this event? That guy, he said it in the wrong spot. It's supposed to go on this
Oh, okay.
table. Charlie-Ann. If you can
I'll
let that guy know.
I'll grab a couple
Look,
and
there's
then bring
nobody
them
over
over
there.
here.
Go get it now. Run now. Run now.
You mentioned Eagles. How
Yeah.
how awesome are they?
Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. And they've been in our thoughts, especially right now with everything that's
Yes.
happened
Yes.
with Helene and Asheville. And I know that their corporate store was location was highly affected, but we're still so appreciative that they've come down here to support and rally around this event. I think everybody needed something to build up their spirits and something good to happen, and so this is a great way for us all to unite and have a good time and celebrate our students as well.
Charlie, and we had a chance earlier. We were chatting with Lenny Mathis, a senior associate AD, and we were asking him, like, what element of what is happening at Morgan Square Madness is his baby? Like, what's his favorite part? As you look around at everything that is planned, that's set up, that's going to get kicked off here in just about 33 minutes, like, what element of Morgan Square Madness do you gravitate towards the most? So you're like, this is the place that I want to be for these couple of hours, besides right here at this table.
So Lenny and I, this was our kind of our baby together that we dreamed of. This is something that our little university of USC Upstate, that a lot of people don't realize is Division I, would love to have always done, but never had all the right pieces to make something like this happen. So the fact that we were able to partner with One Spartanburg, with the city of Spartanburg, who have been phenomenal to us, people like Delaney's, Morgan Square Hospitality, Ingalls, Bojangles, Rigsby's, Spartan Waste, all of our partners in this to come together and create, really convert the entire downtown, the Morgan Square, which is actually a circle, by the way, and make it become a basketball arena. I mean, we've got DJ Shea. He is Clemson's DJ, so we're top notch over here. Per se, okay, I say that lightly, but we But we have Jay Do, who is our MC, who's been known for the Greenville Drive and other events. So just a lot going on here.
We're talking to Charlie Ann Neslin, Director of Alumni Relations and Annual Giving. I'm sure you talk about USC Upstate a lot, and we talk about a lot of colleges, a lot of different schools on this station, us being a sports station. Why USC Upstate?
Well, first of all, I'm an alum and I work here, but I have been a part of USC Upstate since 1999, and I love it. I live, breathe, and I would die for it. I just love the university. I love our teams. I love our students. They're just amazing. Most of our students are first generation students.
That's awesome.
They're also, most of them fall underneath the poverty line, and so our students are kind of unique. We have a very large, interesting, diverse population, and I just love what they bring to our community. They provide our nurses, they provide our teachers, they provide our business leaders here in our community. They're really serving our region. They stay right here in the upstate. 85% of our alums stay right here in South Carolina. So it's a great investment into the community.
Yeah, we got the music that just
the band
got started.
just jumped off.
Kind of scary. I thought there was a car crash over here. Now I'm looking at this TV on the other side of this VIP tent here, and there was a sign on it that said "Invest in Champions." And you being the director of alumni relations, does it not warm your heart to see just how far some of the students that you've dealt with, that you've had contact with over your time here, go as far as they've gone? Like, is there anybody that stands out to you and like this individual took their USC Upstate Spartans degree to a whole new level?
I mean, really, I think that could be said of anyone who graduated from USC Upstate. I think everyone's very proud of their degree. My best friend Devin over here has done great with Odyssey and supporting them, and also we have some power players too that are really well known in the community. You'll see Todd Horn come out here. He's a vice president of Clayton Construction. We have Torrey Craig, who is an NBA star. He's with the Bulls.
Was with the Nuggets, and then
Bulls,
now with the Bulls.
And so we've had a lot of alums. Rory Scovel is a famous alum that's been Modern Family and starred in several movies. I Feel Pretty, some other things like that. It's a national comedy tour on Conan all the time. We just have great success.
I'll tell you what, there's been so many people who are just worked there or graduated from there who have been really impactful. I'll tell you, one of my favorite people in the world, and still to this day, Eddie Payne, late Eddie Payne. And man, I just tell you what he meant to USC Upstate and the upstate of South Carolina and Spartanburg. I think about him all the time.
Well, our arena is named after him.
That's
it's
right.
the Eddie Payne Arena. And I keep telling the coaches, we need to make that the House of Pain and make that a really awesome space for us to host games and make it really intimidating, thinking of like a Cameron Arena where they come in there and it's blacked out now. And we've got our Spartan Army. It's be banging on their shields and everything, and just make that a real intimidating place for people when they come to get beat.
So Charlie Ann Neslin, Director of Alumni Relations and Annual Giving. We talked with Lenny a few minutes ago, and he was teasing out a big announcement that's coming up a little bit later on this evening. I know you know what it is.
He broke it on the show.
Yeah, he told everything.
He told everything for a second.
I
had her.
I know better.
I know better.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all. Not at all. Lenny and I are on the same page with all of this. Okay, it's a great, exciting announcement. It is. It will be. It will be a very tasteful announcements.
Does that mean everybody's going to go home with a tray of cookies and confections like was just brought in here a few minutes ago?
Tasteful. Oh, no. Now my brain's spinning. Not much of it, but it's
interesting.
Charlie Ann, we appreciate your time. Fantastic talking to you, and this event's spectacular.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank y'all for being out here.
Thank
we
you
appreciate
so much.
you. Yeah, and you can hear that the event is just about to get kicked off. The DJ is cranking up the sound system. They're going to open the gates here in about 28 minutes. The events really get going in earnest here coming up at 5 o'clock. So we want to see you down here for Morgan Square Madness. The weather could not be any better, Cole, as this event was supposed to be a few weeks ago. We were that day was a beautiful day, actually. Weather-wise on Friday, it was a beautiful week outside of a hurricane rolling through. But we couldn't ask for a better situation here. Clear skies, bright blue skies, shaded down here where we are, and everybody's going to have themselves a fantastic time here at Morgan Square Madness.
And I'm glad you mentioned the hurricane, because I wanted to bring our friends who we love, absolutely love, from Ingles on the show. Ruby's here, Sienna's here, and Sienna, look, we are so glad to see both of you. It seems like it's been a long time since we've seen you. Just number one, how are you?
Good. We got like a whole welcoming committee when we got here. I loved it.
Y'all have been through a lot up there.
Yeah.
I mean, Diesel and I mentioned this a few weeks ago. It was an inconvenience for us, right? There were people here who were inconvenienced, but you guys in Western North Carolina, I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it. I mean, it was tragic. So I don't know how much you can go into, but can you just give our listeners what it was like for y'all?
Yeah. So from a personal perspective, and I can talk for all of our team members, we were very, very fortunate. Didn't suffer anything beyond like power loss and water loss.
Yeah.
So we are really trying not to complain at all, because our warehouse, our houses are surrounded by just absolute destruction.
Yeah, so I know that Ingles has been widely involved in a lot of recovery efforts in Western North Carolina. Can you go into that just a little bit more? I mean, are there still things that are at massive need? Is Ingles able to get all of the supplies that they need from all of your suppliers? Have those things been interrupted? Give us the status on that.
Yeah, so as far as our warehouse goes, we're going to get back to full capacity by the end of this week.
Wow.
So that's
great. That's amazing.
We have been handing out 1,500 bags of food, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 bags of food the last 3 Mondays. We have our last one next week.
Wow.
In Spruce Pine. So Asheville has gotten a lot of the help that it needs, which is great to see. So now we can kind of expand to like the smaller areas like Spruce Pine, Burnsville, Black Mountain, Swannanoa, those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're able to kind of reshift our focus and go to those little areas.
We're talking to Sienna from Ingles Markets. You hear her and Ruby and Melissa a lot on our show. And I'll tell you this, I said this on a live read a couple of days ago. When I think about Ingles after this event and Hurricane Helene, what you guys did after the hurricane was not ask for help. Ingles, on the pictures on Facebook, y'all are the ones out helping and setting up trucks. And I think that speaks, more than any words could ever speak, that you guys were out there in disaster trying to be, helpful to the community. And that means a lot to us as well.
Well, thank you.
It does.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to be here at this event at Morgan Square Madness. What does it mean to Ingles to be involved with big community events like this? We always talk about, just whenever you go out to high school events, whenever you go to college events, you're going to see Ingles Markets logos everywhere you go, because they do so much to support the local sports community at events like this and at the individual high school level. Why is something like that so important to Ingles?
So we kind of have the title of Community Beacon. That's kind of self-given, but also community-given.
Sure.
So we find that any community-driven thing really gives us the opportunity to reach out in a different way than most corporations would be able to. We also, don't want to be like a faceless store, essentially.
Yeah.
We want to be able to interact face-to-face with our customers, the people that support us. We also want to interact with our vendors, our partners, everything. So we find that it's important to make a personal presence in anything that we do.
Sure. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate Ruby, the entire team, everybody that we cannot thank, who aren't here. We've seen a lot of people helping, a lot of workers handing out bags, and the Fan Upstate, we applaud you guys and appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
That is Sienna. Ruby also here from Ingles Markets as well, as we are at Morgan Square Madness, and October 22nd. That's today, Diesel.
Yeah,
it's here, man.
And you guys, the Tolos, get to come and meet the celebrities that we talk about on this show each and every day, each and every week. So Sienna and Ruby are here. You hear us talk about them all the time. Come and meet them. They're going to be all over the place, spending some time over at the Ingles tent, probably some time over here at the Fan Upstate tent as well. So we're excited about this event. We're excited about that huge tray of cupcakes. It's coming back by again.
You have your eye
I'm like
on
a
that.
child.
You are.
Diesel
A squirrel.
has to do half parenting over here. I mean, I'm like
Cole,
cupcakes,
come back,
and
come back.
cookies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been. And by the way, if you just tuned in, we are live downtown Spartanburg, right outside of Delaney's Irish Pub. Big shout out to them earlier today. Hooked us up with some great appetizers, some fried pickles and loaded fries. Thanks to Dana and Kevin. They're fantastic. Diesel, to your point, come out tonight if you are a Tolo in the Spartanburg area, or maybe you want to make the drive from Greenville, wherever you are. Come out and see us tonight. We're right outside of Delaney's. I'll tell you, in the last hour, this place has gotten busy in the last hour since we got here. The event starts at 6. There's a concert that begins 20 minutes from now. Word has Ruby's going to be singing in the concert. Is that right?
Heck yeah.
She didn't know about it till just now. She didn't know. But
Purple
what'd
Rain,
she
you
say?
hear that?
Are
Is Purple Rain the best Prince song? The best Prince song? Better than Little Red Corvette?
We had
Better
this
than
debate.
No.
We had
Little
Wow.
Red Corvette.
I-
That's it.
no, it's
See,
not.
thank
Yes, it
you.
is.
Ruby.
See, Diesel and I are
Yeah.
always on the same
No.
page.
Yeah. So now we got a tie. We need one more person to break the
Ruby.
tie for us.
They're now
Evan
going
doesn't
to
know.
promotions, and Evan
He's too
doesn't
young.
know.
Evan's 18 years old. He doesn't know.
Nobody believes that any other song from Prince is better.
Ask him. He would know.
Hey, Kevin, we're having a serious debate. We need an expertise. Look at him over here.
He's
By
like,
the
I
way,
don't want to be an
Kevin-
expert on anything.
Kevin from Delaney's. Thank you, Kevin. We had some delicious fried pickles earlier and loaded fries. They were fantastic.
The Upstate's favorite restaurant.
That's right. Kevin from Delaney's. There's a serious debate going on right now that Ruby from Ingalls and I, and then Sienna from Ingalls and Diesel are debating the best Prince song ever. I and Ruby say it's by far Purple Rain. Can you be the tiebreaker?
We say it's Little Red Corvette.
Let's
go crazy.
Wow.
He's going, left field.
Are you serious?
So, yeah,
that's
now-
the best. That's your. No way.
That's the upset of the week right
That is
there.
the upset. I don't think anybody predicted that. Corey, Purple Rain or Little Red Corvette?
Best Prince song.
Thank
no.
you.
Come
Corey.
on.
Traitor.
Thank you, Corey. We all know Corey's smart. Corey's smart.
What are you saying about me?
I'm just saying, we all know Purple Rain's the best. It's
Say
the
it
best.
to my face.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
if you
good.
want to,
I'm
if you,
good.
it's the best song to go. It's the best Prince song to go to sleep to. That's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, we'll continue.
Oh,
You
now,
can
yeah.
say
Now those
Polk
two are
Hand.
going to fight it out.
yeah, let them
Interesting.
fight. Let them fight.
Tolo, Cole, we have a whole lot of Tolos who are getting in their upset picks. You guys got to wait until tomorrow. 4:00 is when the upset picks officially open. So, who we got? Boomer Bill, who I think Boomer Bill is another new Tolo who's never been in the upset picks challenge. I think
Starts tomorrow, Boomer
it starts
Bill.
tomorrow at 4:00. So be ready for that. Cole, we've seen the Upstate Spartans women's basketball team come through. We've seen the cheerleading team come through, and that means this event is about to kick off. So all of you Tolos, I guarantee you we have a bunch of Tolos who are listening to us right now from their offices right here in
Yes.
downtown Spartanburg. Go ahead and clock out. Tell the boss you're leaving early.
I don't
Come
think-
on over here
If you're
now.
in one of these offices, I don't think you clock out. Look up there.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
see- you
you're
with me now?
right. You're right. If you're in one of those, you come and go when you
Yeah.
please. That's for sure. Hey, if that little kid over there can drain multiple free throws in a row, he's hit 2 in a row, Cole. Do you think you could hit 2 in a
I
row?
can hit 2 in maybe.
This kid
maybe.
is on a roll. He hit 2 in a row, 2 out of 3. I don't know that either one of us are going to be able to match that.
We'll try.
3
We'll
out
try
of
our
4
best.
now.
We'll try.
Unbelievable play-by-play of some unknown child.
I'm gonna
shooting free
practice
throws.
here in a minute. I'm gonna get some practice in.
And now he's 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's not good.
Yeah, wild times here at Morgan Square. Madness, we want to see you out here. Cole, when we come back on the other side of this break, we're going to hit what we call our daily wires. This is what's happening around the sports world. See, as we're at events like this, it's hard to remember that there's stuff going on around us in the world, but there is. There
there
are
is.
things happening
That's
out
what they
there.
say allegedly.
We haven't had a chance to even talk about yet on this show. So we're going to get to that next. Our daily wires coming up on the other side on the Fan Upstate. Morgan Square Madness just minutes away from tipping off. Cole, that's a basketball pun, by the way.
Great
Live
job.
here
Great job.
from,
Well played.
from Morgan Square in downtown Spartanburg. Joined right now live on the scene by Marty Richter, head coach of the USC Upstate men's Spartans team. You heard him on this show just a couple of weeks ago as we were live from the Ingles here in Spartanburg. Marty, you were pretty new on the job when you had just joined us the last time. So in the last few weeks, number one, how you settling in, and how's the team looking so far?
It's settling good now. You know what I mean? We got power back in the house. We got, you know what I mean? Everybody
just got here and the power went out.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we've settled in well. The only thing bad about what's happened recently is, you know, we had the hurricane and kids didn't go back to school for 8 days.
Yeah.
So now entertaining 4 little kids 10 to 4 has always been an interesting task.
Yeah.
Normally I'm in charge of 18 to 22-year-olds, and that's a little bit easier.
What do you know now that when you took the job at USC Upstate, you did not expect to have to either deal with, good or bad, in terms of positive or a challenge?
This is what I would say is I didn't know the amount of support that USC Upstate had.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't know that. So, like, I was unaware of that. You know, I've coached against them when I was at Gulf Coast. I told you guys that before. But I didn't know the support, like the community support. This event, like how many people will be here tonight is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know that.
So I'm going to hit up now the third person. Your counterparts, Lenny and Charlie Ann, have teased a big announcement that's going to be happening at some point in the event today. Do you know what that big announcement is?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, so you're going to learn with all of us at the same
with
time?
all of you.
Either that or he's really good at lying and he does know.
I'm the worst liar in America. Just ask my wife. I give it away every time. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't tell me, because if I know, I can't lie.
So what have those two told you about this event? It's now multiple years strong, and you see the setup that they've got here, you know, the excitement level. What have they told you about this event, and what are you excited about seeing as a spectator in your own right?
You know what? Just the interaction between the community, our teams, and our administration. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. And that is what I'm really looking forward to seeing, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, because you're trying to get community to come out and support us during the season. And that is so important. This event helps.
No doubt about it. Coach, we're talking to Coach Marty Richter, the head basketball coach at USC Upstate. What do you want? Like, if you could go to sleep at night and wake up the next morning and have just the identity of your team laid out on a silver platter for USC Upstate men's basketball, what do you want the identity of your team to be?
We are, to put it in old school terms, we are the lunch pail hard hat guys.
Okay.
To put it in old school people. And nowadays, I don't even know what it is nowadays, but back in the 90s and early 2000s, that's what it is. That's
blue collar.
Blue collar. We're as blue collar as it comes. We are a group of kids that play really hard, that play for each other, that look out for each other.
Yeah.
And that is what, when I wake up and when I go to bed, that's all I hope my team does. We're going to make shots, we're going to miss shots, but if you can do that stuff, you can have a good year. And you can be fun to watch. You guys can come. You can come to a game and be like, "Dang, this is fun!"
Yeah,
look, you know, Charlie Ann was describing it. Lenny was describing it. The facility that USC Upstate plays in, and the tight confines. I'm excited to see that. You know, I love the smaller venues that have personality, right? That can really get raucous inside of a small space. You don't have to have a gigantic crowd to make a lot of noise in a small space like that. And you know, look, USC Upstate has found a lot of success over the last couple of years, and I know that those students pack that place out. How have you seen and been surprised pleasantly about the student interaction with basketball in your short time here?
They want us to be good, and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can be on different campuses across the country, and I've worked at different places. Student body didn't care if we won or lost.
Yeah.
They didn't care. This student body, from my interaction walking around campus and meeting people and seeing people, they're excited.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because I think we have a good product to put on the floor that they can hang their head on their pillow at night and say, man, they play really hard. They're fun to watch. They're entertainment. It's worth my time going to watch them for 2 hours.
Coach, before we let you go, you have somebody in your lap, I believe Emerson. Is that what he said?
Is your name Emerson?
Yes.
Now, how good of a basketball player will Emerson be, or do you think Emerson will be the type that grows up and, of course, as you're a basketball coach, chooses another sport?
You know what? I hope he just plays a sport.
There you go.
Like, at the end of the day, he's got 2 older brothers and a sister. He's the baby of the 4. He's got a hard head. He can run in. He gets tackled. Last night at soccer practice, my daughter's playing soccer and the 3 boys are playing football.
Yeah.
And we all know when you throw that ball up in the air and whoever gets it gets tackled. Well, he was getting tackled by the 10 and 6-year-old like he was 10 and 6. And I was like, he is a tough little dude. And he's got a little toughness to him.
Well, we appreciate you, Coach. Best of luck this season from Diesel and I both. We'll have to come out and catch a game or 2 because we're excited for you as well.
Well, this is what I want to do for you two. This is what I want you to do. You guys come to a game. I want you guys get there early enough so you come in and see pregame speech.
Yes.
You could see everything behind the scenes. If you get there an hour before, you could see everything from behind the scenes.
Wow.
And you come out, you can see everything for the first hour right there.
We'd love to. That'd be
That
awesome.
is awesome.
That'd be
Okay,
awesome.
so
We'll
awesome.
take you up on
Excited.
that.
Take me up on that
We
if
will.
you want.
We
Okay.
absolutely will.
Absolutely. Marty
Thank you,
Richter,
Coach.
You're
USC
welcome.
Upstate Spartans head men's basketball coach. They're going to be on display here in the coming hour and a half here. The women's basketball team going to be on display as well. I saw both of the teams in there chowing down inside Delaney's here in Spartanburg. That's where we are, sitting right outside of Delaney's in Spartanburg. What's up? Ow, Emerson, you hit hard, my friend.
Emerson's the man. Look
Yeah,
at him.
he's out here, he's out here pumping fists and giving me bruises. I'm telling you. No, we're excited about this excellent event, and as you guys have heard, some of the sound check kind of get started. This event is really going to pop off in the next 10 minutes. So we want to see you guys here. Come on down, meet the teams. There's going to be a dance party later on this evening. DJ Shea and the dance party. I know Cole's going to be out there cutting a rug. What's your go-to dance move, by the way, Cole? The sprinkler.
I'm doing it for the
sprinkler.
stream.
Okay, I like
You
to
like
do the
that?
lawnmower. I like that one right here. You know,
That's
you
fantastic.
got to crank that sexy lawnmower.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
fantastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a fun event, guys.
It
And
really is.
who knows how long we're gonna be hanging out here? We'd love to see you out.
Let's do it, Tolo. 71307. Get in the show. Start your text with the word fan, because in the very next segment, I'm going to ask you Gamecock fans, unless we might be joined by a guest. Look, Diesel and I are flexible. I want to ask you Gamecock fans a very serious question. So Gamecock Tolos, I'm coming to you. Maybe not. We'll see. We are live downtown Spartanburg at Morgan Square. It's Morgan Square Madness, powered by Eagles. JD on the YouTube stream said so much for the Daily Wires. Well, JD, let me pull the curtain back for you. One of the traits that you have to have in local sports radio, especially on a live event. But Diesel and I have this every day, and then I think that if you want to be a really good radio host, you have to be flexible. And Diesel and I, look, we have things planned.
I thought you were supposed to flex on them.
No, I don't do that.
No, okay.
I don't do that. I don't have anything to play. We might have a segment planned, but guess what? When somebody pops down and somebody wants to talk with you, you've gotta talk to them. That's just part of it. So we will try to get to the Daily Wires, but more importantly than that, Diesel and I have to get our minds right. We are in a celebrity free throw shooting contest, and we've been told it's now knockout.
Yeah.
Which worries me, by the way.
We should ask Coach for tips. We've been asking a bunch of Tolos who the closest they probably come to a basketball court is playing NBA 2K on a PlayStation.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, we should ask Coach for advice.
You think he would be better to give advice than the Tolos?
Probably. Yeah, I would think so.
Think so?
He only gets paid for it, right? This is what he's dedicated his life to, Cole.
And by the way, Coach Marty Richter, he's a fantastic interview, man. I love his energy. I mean, he's come on with us now twice, Diesel, and we'll have him on, during the basketball. By the way, basketball season's it's here. I mean, it is so close, man. NBA starts tonight. College basketball will be here before you know it. It's unbelievable how quickly basketball season gets here. But Diesel,
you don't say.
It is a sports show. It's what we're told, at least as we are live. By the way, if you just tuned in, we're live in downtown Spartanburg, sitting right outside of Delaney's Irish Pub. And it's Morgan Square Madness. Concert starting any minute now, and the madness will start at 6 o'clock. If you are a Spartanburg Tolo or are in the area, you don't want to miss this. This is fantastic. You can hop by and see Diesel and myself as we're sitting right outside of Delaney's Irish Pub.
You know what I love about the juxtaposition that we're seeing across the way here, Cole?
Yeah.
Lyric, the R&B artist based out of Asheville, who's performing here in the next couple of minutes. She's going to start up. She was just over there doing her sound check. Sounds phenomenal, by the way. There's a gentleman over there with a Megadeth T-shirt chatting her up. So look at that collaboration crossing over genre lines. I
have no idea what you're talking about. You know me. I mean, culture and music. I mean, it's not
R&B stands for rhythm and blues.
Okay, got it. All right,
it's a combination of two genres. Okay,
I know that.
It's like
you
hip
said
hop.
something about a guy's shirt. What the shirt say?
Megadeth.
I don't know what
the heavy metal band Megadeth.
Is it good? Is it good?
Yeah. Clearly, look at him. He's here to rock out.
I've never heard of it, but that shouldn't surprise you.
Multi-platinum, Grammy award-winning band, and Cole's never heard of him.
No, I have not. Don't be.
If he started singing with a twang, you'd know exactly who he was.
No doubt about it. I would. There's no doubt.
I'll text Dave Mustaine, tell him to write a song about his truck, and you're in.
Please, yes, please do so. Diesel, I found a very interesting article, and I wanted to get to this. From a South Carolina Gamecock perspective. Yesterday on the show, we had Jack Veltri on the program of Gamecock Central, who does a fantastic job, by the way. You can see his work on GamecockCentral.com on 3 Sports. But, he put out a really interesting article, man, today. And I was reading the article, Diesel, about South Carolina's bye week this week. Well, why is that interesting? The last time South Carolina had a bye, guess what? Things didn't go so well the next outing. Ole Miss, there was no offensive production whatsoever. Defensively, they didn't look sharp like they did in the other games. And I found this very fascinating because Shane Beamer talked about it. He said to Jack in the media, we obviously played like hot garbage coming off of a bye last week, Beamer said. Coaches, players, we did not perform well after a week off, and we got ready to play Ole Miss, and it did not go well. We all know that happened, but what I find fascinating about South Carolina now, coming off of another bye, is how sometimes, Diesel, you're playing the building box game, or you're playing Jenga. You played Jenga before, where you have to stack the bricks right and hope it doesn't fall. I really do feel as if South Carolina is playing a version of Jenga in the SEC by continuing to stack the bricks, but you have to be oh so careful in the SEC, and I feel as if South Carolina, coming off of this bye, can get those Jenga bricks as high as possible. However, we talked about it yesterday. Eventually, there's going to be a ceiling on those Jenga bricks before they fall, because South Carolina is going to have more offensive production. But I do find it very fascinating that when you look at this team coming off of the bye, they have a chance to really add on to those blocks and bricks and become the best we've seen in a long, long time. But they've got to be better off this bye than they were the last.
Yeah, one good thing is the big pieces for South Carolina, as far as we know, are pretty healthy. So they're not really having to use this week to get healthy. They can use this week to continue to instill that discipline that saw them give no turnovers last week, that saw them have only, 65-ish yards of penalties last week. That is a huge reduction in the number of penalties from what they'd have. So, look, nothing in football is ever linear. It's like that Paula Abdul song, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You think you're making progress here in this element of the game, and then the next time you come out and play, for whatever reason, this element of the game is just not going right for you. And, of course, you have to give credit to the other team for disrupting what it is you're trying to do in those given weeks. But if South Carolina can give some semblance of the same performance against Texas A&M in 2 weeks that they were able to give last week against Oklahoma, it would be a tall task to ask for 3 scores off of turnovers again. But if you can get 1 turnover, 2 turnovers, present yourself with opportunities to pick up easy points throughout the game when they're given to you, I think South Carolina stands a really good chance against this Texas A&M team that is a lot better than what we thought they were going to be this year. We all kind of said, A&M, they were mediocre before. New coach coming in. Of course, they're probably going to be mediocre again this year, maybe hover right there in that 20 to 25 range over the course of the season. But, man, what Mike Elko has done in College Station really is impressive. So this is a tougher test than what we thought the South Carolina Gamecocks were going to face this week.
My question for you, Diesel, as well as our audience, our Tolos out there, 71307 is the text line. I want to hear your thoughts. Start your text with the word fan. We will also open the phone lines during this segment as well. 844-FAN-PHONE. That's 844-326-3663. At this point in the season, here we are after wins against Old Dominion, Kentucky, Akron, and Oklahoma. Losses to LSU, Ole Miss, and Alabama. With the remaining schedule, Diesel, 5 games remaining.
Which,
A&M.
By the way, that's kind of where we thought this team would be at this point of the season.
It kind of is. A&M ranked. Vandy ranked. Believe that. Again, Vandy ranked. I'll say that again. Missouri ranked. Clemson ranked. And then you have Wofford, the next to last game. 4 of the next 5 opponents are ranked. My question for you Gamecock fans out there in the upstate, whether you're driving home today or you are already home toloing on the stream, we're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. What's the best case? What's the worst case as well? I want to hear the both sides of the coin here. Best case scenario as well as worst case scenario for South Carolina football the remainder of the season. Because, like I said, you've got wins already. You've got some quality wins. You've got 4 wins total, 3 losses. Gamecock fans, what do you feel like is the best case as well as the worst case scenario going forward? Diesel, you want to start with the best or the worst?
Well, worst case is easier, right? Worst case is you don't win a single game against a Power 5 opponent the rest of the season.
Ooh.
You get that win against Wofford. You should be able to win that game easily. So the worst case is 1-4 down the stretch with losses to 4 ranked football teams. I genuinely don't believe that that's going to happen, right? I do think they pick up minimum 1 more win. So I think a true worst case scenario is probably more like 3-2 down the stretch.
Yeah, you might be right. Listen, I'm with you there. You're right. That is the easy answer. Worst case, you're not going to lose to Wofford.
No.
You're not. We can all say, "Oh, what if?" The Carolina Gamecocks aren't.
Apologies to the campus. It's about 2 miles that way.
Oh, not even. I mean, you could throw a rock, Diesel, and hit Wofford College. So you're right on the sense of worst case scenario. It would be. Look, man. I don't want to jinx this. Gamecock fans, I have so many friends, Diesel, who are South Carolina fans. They've gone through a lot. They know what it's like to be a Gamecock fan. It's not fun. you have the highs, but right after you have the highs, you beat Alabama. What happens the next week? You lose to Kentucky. They know what it's like being a Gamecock fan. This would be the ultimate Gamecock fan experience. Starting the season the way you did, 4-3, and what's up, DB? DB is in the house. Everybody,
Yeah.
DB is in the house. Starting the season 4-3.
Jess is in the house as
She
well.
is.
The
And
whole
then
family's here.
if you somehow, like you said, dropped 4 of the next 5, and the only win you had was Wofford, boy, oh boy, would conversations begin to change and alter very, very quickly, Diesel, because right now, you and I know that Shane Beamer's job is safe, but if that were to happen, if South Carolina, again, worst case scenario, you and I don't think it's going to happen, but if it were to, I don't think he makes it. I'm telling you, you lose 4 out of 5 against ranked teams. I don't know how you bring that back after the start that you had. That's way too much inconsistency. At that point, I'd say you have to fire him.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Now, I think it matters, and it matters a lot to South Carolina fans, the manner in which these games happen,
Yeah.
right? Like, if they're close against A&M, if they're close against Vandy, if you're close against Missouri, if you're close against Clemson, you're losing those games by a touchdown or less. I think that changes the conversation around those losses. Doesn't make you feel a ton better about them, but it does maybe keep you from pulling the trigger and making that drastic decision and potentially getting rid of Shane Beamer at that point. I mean, at that point, Cole, yeah, you really do have to kind of look at the manner and how those losses happen.
You do.
I think the defense is going to be just fine for the remainder of the season. I'm not going to somehow predict some form of gloom and doom down the stretch for them, but if they can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag on offense for the rest of the 4 games on their schedule, that tells me right there that Dowell Loggins, at very least, is gone.
Look, I don't care. Look, I hear you, but the more I think about it, I don't know that I do. I don't know that it matters how you lose. If you were to lose those 4 or 5, I think you just have to rip the band. Like, I think you've got to fire everybody. I mean, pull the freaking panic alarm.
Yeah, I mean, again, I understand. I always wonder, how many times are they going to let Shane Beamer reshuffle the deck chairs on the Titanic?
Yeah.
Before realizing it's not the offensive coordinators. It wasn't Satterfield. It's not Loggins. It's Shane Beamer, right? Sure. At some point, that decision will come up in the minds of South Carolina Gamecock fans.
Absolutely.
But if you're close, losing 1-score football games to ranked opponents, I'm not sure that decision gets made that it's Shane Beamer's fault. I think they look at it and say, well, Shane Beamer is the one that brought in the defensive coordinator. So there's no reason to get rid of that quality duo. You just got to find the third leg of the tripod.
Mike Main on the text line, 71307. Start your text with the word fan. Mike Main says, best case scenario, win out, and that's not far-fetched. Glad you said that, Mike Main, because I want to get to that. And then Mike Main says, worst case, 6-6. I like that a lot. I like that text a lot, Diesel. Let's go to what Mike Main said. Best case scenario, you win out, and that's not far-fetched. Do you agree that it's not far-fetched?
No, I don't agree that it's not far. It is far-fetched because of the way this team has operated all season, right? You'll have the phenomenal offensive performance that they had against LSU. Then you'll have the terrible offensive performance that they had against Ole Miss and that they had against Oklahoma, right? You feel good about winning big against Oklahoma, but the offense didn't win you that game. Without those 3 defensive scores, that's a 14-9 football game, Cole.
Sure. You're right.
So, yeah, I don't know that this team, as constructed with the personnel they have, including Dowell Loggins, that this team is constructed to somehow turn it on with 5 games to go.
So, okay, let me give you my thoughts here on far-fetched. Winning out, in my opinion, winning out's far-fetched, but I'll tell you what's not far-fetched. Diesel, what's not far-fetched is your defense keeping you in every game and you having a chance to win the game. In my opinion, that's not far-fetched. My only issue is, and I hope I'm proven wrong here, Diesel, but my issue is I have not seen enough from South Carolina offensively to make me believe that this offense against A&M, Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Clemson will all 4 games, that this offense, all 4 games, Diesel, will be able to go make a game-winning drive, because at some point, I'm not saying they're going to have it in all 4 games, but at some point, this offense is going to be asked to step up because, again, going back to Mike Main's text about far-fetched, I don't believe it's far-fetched that you'll be in the game, that your defense will keep you in it. I just don't know, Mike Main, that I believe you have a good enough offense to go and win all 5, A&M, Vandy, Missouri, Wofford, and Clemson. You'll beat Wofford, but I'm telling you, something, Diesel, if you told me today that you win out, I would have to see that somehow, some way, this offense has just dramatically gotten better.
Okay, Cole, if I told you that South Carolina gets 3 wins down the stretch, one of them, Wofford, that's the gimme, right? So 2 more on top of that.
Oh, God.
Which 2 is it? If South Carolina splits with the FBS teams still on their schedule, which 2 do they get and which 2 do they not get? And I don't think it's super easy to say Vandy is the one that they get, because Diego Pavia, that dude is a dude.
It's a good question. That's a great question. Boy, you're saying Wofford's one of them. I only get to pick 2 now.
You get 2 more. Tolos, same question for the Tolos, by the way.
It's a tough
71307. Start your text with keyword fan.
Let me use the process of elimination. I don't think they beat Clemson.
Okay.
So you knocked that one out.
That's a road game, by the way.
That's a road
Clemson.
game. So that leaves 3 games, and I have to find 2 wins in those 3 games.
Yep.
I do think they beat Missouri. I think South Carolina's defense right now, and again, could Missouri get better in 3 weeks? They absolutely could. They have talent offensively. But right now, I think South Carolina's defense would shut Missouri down. I'm telling you, I think they would.
I agree.
I think they would. So I'll go win Missouri. And they've got to beat Vandy, don't they? They're not going to lose to Vandy.
But it's Vandy on the road that beat Alabama, right?
But I'm telling you, if you made me pick between A&M and Vandy, I say they lose to A&M at home, another home disappointment, and then they go to Nashville and they get the win. That's a tough one to decide. That you put me on a tough spot.
Yeah,
I
mean, how much is that home field advantage going to be worth on November 2nd when A&M comes to town? And then you go into Vanderbilt, which, again, I think they probably got the same kind of bleachers up at Vanderbilt's football stadium that they've got out here at Morgan Square Madness, where we are right now. And you can hear the concert going on just straight ahead of us to our right. She sounds absolutely phenomenal. That's Lyric, R&B artist out of Asheville, playing some great songs. We want to see you out here. You've got time. You've got all kinds of time to get here, but you're going to need to get here soon if you're going to want to take part in all of the festivities. Cole and you and I are just about an hour and 15 minutes away from being part of the knockout challenge over there on this makeshift half-court setup that they have over here.
I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit nervous. And by the way, Diesel, texter from the 491 says Vandy and Texas A&M, to answer your question, with the 2 wins right outside of Wofford. Texter says Vandy and Texas A&M.
Wow.
I don't hate.
So here's the fun thing about that, Cole. If South Carolina then has 3 wins in a row against Oklahoma, A&M, and Vanderbilt, this fan base is going to be riding high. And then you're telling me, based on what this texter gave us, you lose 2 out of the last 3.
So
that would be a gut-wrenching way to close the season.
I know we got to run, but I want to do this. I'm going to read Tolo Steve's text. Tolo Steve says Gamecocks beat Vanderbilt and Clemson. Tolo Steve, go Buckeyes. And the last thing I want to say is this, just so it's on record. You asked me what could happen. Did it 2 or 3, between take Wofford out. I'll tell you what I think will happen. I think South Carolina right now, I think Diesel, they lose to A&M at home, which is not good. I think they lose to A&M, and I think they win the next 3, okay? They beat Vandy, Missouri, Wofford, and they lose to Clemson. So right now, I think they go 3-2 in the next 5.
The good thing about this team, Cole, is that we know this defense, as long as they stay healthy, is good enough to keep them in every single game. on this schedule.
It's tough though, man.
Yeah.
And again, I just said I think they lose to A&M. 10 seconds from now, I might tell you I'm wrong, and I think that they can beat it.
Well, isn't that a reflection of this season and the pendulum swing back and forth that has been this season for the
tough,
South
man.
Carolina Gamecocks?
It's tough.
So we're here at Morgan Square Madness celebrating the Upstate Spartans men's and women's basketball teams. We've got the cheerleaders passing through right now. We've got the men's team and the women's team out there warming up on this half-court setup here. Excited for you to come out here and see it and to meet these teams. And Cole, when we come back, we're going to make good on our promise from earlier in the show. We are going to get to the Daily Wires. That is unless another interview sits down right in front of us and changes things. You never know, man. You got to roll with the punches out here. So we're going to get to our Daily Wires, I think, next on the Fan Upstate.
Upstate tent and see if there's 2 hats over there. Tell them Cole asked for them.
You can hear Lyric on stage here at Morgan Square Madness, downtown Spartanburg. Sienna and Ruby are over here classing up the joint, hanging out next to our table. Ingles Markets is in the house. We appreciate their tremendous support of this incredible event and everything it is they do.
They're mean to me, by the way.
Are they over there
They're
laughing at
mean to
you?
me. They're mean to me. Listen,
Was he making? Where's that straw going, Cole? Why is it going up your nose?
Ruby and Sienna, they give me a hard time, but I love it.
I'm telling you, man. Just think of that. If you feel the pressure, Cole, while you're trying to shoot free throws in the challenge, knockout challenge later, just think of that. And it's like, it's like when they said when you were nervous giving a speech in your high school, just picture everybody naked.
Yeah.
Now just pretend like you've got a straw up your nose.
There's no better way to do it. No better way.
It's time now to hit our daily wires, Cole. This is the buzz happening around the sports world. If you're a Lions fan, this isn't good. Third-year wide receiver Jameson Williams is facing a 2-game suspension for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing substance policy. We don't know what substance that is, but Dan Campbell said he could not elaborate on the suspension until the league formally announces it. Now, it's possible that information has come out in the last hour or two since we've been on the show. But as of yet, I haven't seen exactly what that substance is that's in his system.
Do you think it's like an illegal substance is why they are doing that? It's not legal, you don't think?
I'm assuming that it's not. I mean, there's some performance degrading substances I could think of.
Oh my gosh,
but
Jameson Williams.
Yeah, James. Like, look, from everything that I've heard, Cole, from athletes, they've always said it's actually pretty easy to get around a drug test.
Yeah,
like when it's coming, and you can, if you're smart about it, you can basically do what it is you want to do, and get around the situation.
But I'll tell you what, on the flip side of that, I want to comment on that exact point. I think I would, and I don't know how all athletes are, I think I would, I've heard this happen. I think I might sometimes, I'm not saying you're supposed to go and take all of these substances, but Diesel, on the flip side, at the same time, I think sometimes athletes are given so many freaking substances. How do you know that this shot that I'm going to give you to heal your leg up or these new vitamins aren't going to hurt, your drug test? I mean, there's just so many substances that are given. You just never know.
Oh, you sound like a Clemson fan saying you can find Osterine in anything.
Yeah, it's in this water right here. It's in this water.
Ask the people of Flint, Michigan, if their water is water or if there's something else to it, Cole. Here's the next one. Indiana starting quarterback Curtis Rourke underwent surgery on his injured right thumb yesterday. Staff there believe that he could be back for their November 2nd game against Michigan State. So imagine that. Just isn't it crazy how fast sports science and sports medicine is advancing to where you can have surgery on your throwing hand thumb and be back out on the field ready to play in a big-time college football game in 2 weeks.
No, it's insane.
It's absurd.
Look, even more than that, I find ACL tears to be fascinating nowadays, how quickly, and this happened with Clemson players.
Yeah.
I mean, ACL tears, it's nothing more nowadays than a little rest, and all of a sudden, 3 or 4 weeks later, you pump you a shot in there, and you're good to go, man.
Yeah, there's an army of Mr. Miyagi's out there slapping their hands together, rubbing it, getting them warm, and then healing these injuries, man. It's amazing just how fast sports medicine is coming around. But I did want to put that out there for any Tolos. I don't know if Indiana is going to be affected the line in their game.
So
this
no
weekend.
Upset pick.
So yeah, I just wanted to let people who may be thinking about taking Indiana know about that.
No.
Cole, you have been known to put a little bit of money down on some prop bets in your time.
And when you say a little bit, like very, very little bit. Very,
well, we work in
bit.
radio.
Yeah, very little bit.
More money has come in on Bronny to win Rookie of the Year in the NBA this year than any other player in history at multiple sports books. 20% of the money that has been bet on Rookie of the Year has been bet on Bronny to win this thing. He'll be up against Grizzlies center Zach Edey and Rockets guard Reed Shepherd. What's your early lean? I mean, we know Bronny is not an elite player.
Yeah.
So what people are banking on is the name James carrying him to Rookie of the Year?
Actually, I'll tell you what it is. And I'm glad you brought this up. Let me tell you why people are doing it. Why people are putting money on Bronny is not because they think Bronny will win Rookie of the Year. The reason they're putting money on Bronny is the odds are so far-fetched, they look at it as, hey, I can sprinkle a little, and if something magical happens, 250 to 1 odds for that to happen. So, and I could be wrong here. I'm not a Vegas insider, but what I'm thinking is, just on what I know, and again, gamblers look at this as it's a cheap way to win a lot of money. If it were, you don't think it's going to happen, but the odds are so against you. If it were to happen, you'd win a ton of money if you put $100 on it, right? So I'm thinking that's the thought process, because there's nobody out there who really believes he's going to win it. There's nobody out there that does.
So
you'd
put down $100 to win $250K. Is that right?
It'd be a lot. It'd be a lot. My math's not good, but it'd be a lot.
Yeah, WNBA players, we spent some time talking about this earlier in the show, Cole. WNBA players have opted out of their current CBA and face the prospect of a work stoppage. They are seeking, quote, a business model that reflects their true value, encompassing higher salaries, enhanced working conditions, expanded health benefits, and crucial investments needed for long-term growth. You and I both know the WNBA does not make money. Is this a bad time? They always say strike when the iron is hot, right? And the iron is as hot as it's ever been, with Caitlin Clark bringing in that much attention to the game, Cole.
Yeah.
But is this a wise decision at this point?
Probably not. But the thing about it is the WNBA probably looks at it from a standpoint of not having much to lose either. Like, what?
Yeah.
You're right. You do have to strike while the iron's hot, but this is the best year ratings wise ever. With Caitlin Clark,
considering how much the WNBA is funded by the NBA, it feels like an attempt at extorting some money out of the NBA. Say, look how many people are watching our game now. You need to pay us more now,
and hopefully that works for their sake. But if it doesn't, what are they going to do? Like, if they're
are they willing to strike out on their own?
That's what I'm saying. If they're going up that river and they don't get an extra paddle from the NBA, it might be that current might be a little too rough for them to handle.
The Cleveland Browns, obviously with Deshaun Watson going down with his Achilles rupture, the Cleveland Browns have signed Bailey Zappi at quarterback. He was recently a New England Patriot.
Right, he was. I don't hate it. They've got to have somebody, and that team, that's a tough spot right now. It really is.
Speaking of the quarterback, Justin Fields is available, by the way. Speaking of the quarterback position, Cole, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa was asked if he would wear a Guardian cap when he returns to play, and he said, quote, "There's risk in anything and everything. I'm willing to play the odds." The guy that has literally had his fingers curl up on him multiple times from taking headshots in the NFL is saying, yeah, I'm not wearing a Guardian cap.
I heard that audio, and I tell you what, it's you saying it doesn't do justice. When he was asked about it, it was fast.
Yeah.
No, I'm not wearing it was fascinating audio.
I mean,
Diesel, at the end of the day, it's his decision. But what people don't realize is Tua's injuries have not come from impacts. They have not come from hard hits, collisions. Tua's injuries have come from him falling and that head hitting the ground in a super impactful way that's caused concussions. I don't know. I'm not saying I don't know if a Guardian cap would make a huge difference the way he plays reckless, but I do find it very fascinating. At the end of the day, I guess it's his decision, but maybe he should.
Yeah, it's either bold or it's stupid, depending on whether or not he suffers another one of those injuries. And finally, Cole, our last Daily Wire, Matthew McConaughey has now criticized Texas fans for throwing trash onto the field, saying that fans should be responsible for cleaning up the stadium. And he said, quote, "Not cool, bogey move. That call, the call was BS, but we're better than that. Next up, when the Gators come to town, let's make sure they feel the heat, can't hear the play calls, and burn their timeouts. But remember, nothing hits our field except that Texas fight."
You know what? It's the right thing for him to say. However, it doesn't matter who says what. When you're talking about students and student sections and the emotion of 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old college kids who are PO'd that their team's not doing, and they're add on to that a terrible call, it's not going to bode well. It wasn't a good sight. There's no doubt about it. I'm glad he said that because that's it's just a bad look. It doesn't matter who you are.
And Cole, 42,000 students at the University of Texas between the ages of 18 and 23 all collectively said, who? That guy from the Lincoln commercials is telling us not to throw trash onto the football field. Do you really think college students in Texas know who Matthew McConaughey is?
That would not sit well with me if you told me those students didn't know. Like, no, there's no way that's true. They have to know who he is. They gotta know. He's one of the best. I don't know. I hope that's not true because I love Matthew McConaughey. But I'll tell you what.
What's the last big movie he's done? Interstellar. That was what, almost 15 years ago.
No, it's not. That's not the. I guess.
The gentleman.
The Gentleman. Yes,
How about
good
Ben?
call. Good call, Ben from the studio.
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman. Great,
I hope
great
that
British
people don't forget
mafia
about
movie.
him, man. He's too good to be forgotten about.
He was like a marijuana kingpin
God.
living in England, and nobody gave him any respect because he was American, and the
That's true.
English didn't respect the Americans. So there you go. Those are our daily wires. That's the buzz happening around the sports world as we're live here at Morgan Square Madness. Man, this place is starting to fill up quick.
No doubt.
There's a buzz of people around us. Hundreds of people now pouring into Morgan Square, excited for the events that are going to take place here this afternoon.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll continue the conversation. We might have another drop in here in the next segment. We might not, but it is absolutely awesome, to your point, to see downtown Spartanburg this electric right now. Morgan Square Madness. Tolos, if you haven't made it out yet, you still have time. The event doesn't start for another 20 minutes, and it's going to go a long time tonight right here in Morgan Square. Also, I asked Tolos earlier in the show, and I'll ask you again because I know it's a new listening audience right now, but Diesel and I are going to be in a knockout free throw contest. I need your tips. 71307. What are your best tips that you could give Diesel and I when it comes to winning this contest? We'll get into that next. Morgan Square Madness, it's happening right now in downtown Spartanburg. Tolos, you do not want to miss this. I'm telling you, man, it's a fantastic event. And appreciate Ingalls Markets for all that they have done to put this on with USC Upstate. I'm telling you, there are a lot of people here, and it's only going to get bigger and better. Texter says, Cole, shoot like Rick Barry. My name is Detroit. I don't know. I mean, is that your real name, Detroit? Real name or nickname?
Well,
That's gotta
if
be a
his
nickname.
first initial is D and his last name is Troit, it makes sense.
He says his name is Detroit. I would love to be a Tolo. Well, Detroit, you are a Tolo.
Yeah.
You are. You turn it on and leave it on.
If
That's
you
what.
can think it, you can do it.
And somebody just walked by a minute ago and asked Diesel what Tolo meant. That's exactly what it means. Turn on, leave on. I'm telling you, we've had so many people over the past few months that I've seen in public out, at the mall, not the mall. I don't go to the mall. Out and about. So many different Tolos that have saw us in public and said Tolo. Hey, man, I'm a Tolo. Love listening to the show. We appreciate you. We've seen Dan B out here. We've seen several other Tolos. We've seen Michael. We have seen, let's see, Diesel will have to help me. Do you remember the Tolo's name we were talking to a minute ago? I'm terrible with names. I was telling our audience we've seen so many Tolos out here today, and we've seen so many I forget their names already.
Chris Arnett.
Chris Arnett.
Chris Arnett came by.
Sorry for getting your name, Chris. Chris Arnett. We saw him. And again, Michael. We saw Michael. And let's see, I saw somebody else a minute ago that I forgot who it was. And I'm telling you, the names are running together. We're seeing so many people. It's fun to be out here. We've talked to the head basketball coach at USC Upstate.
Marty Richter.
Marty Richter was so good. Fantastic interview. We appreciate him coming on the show. But it's a great time. We ask that you, if you don't have plans tonight, man, swing on out. Downtown Spartanburg, you can't miss it. I mean, I don't know what the parking situation is. DB was parking battle out here. Parking is okay. Parking garage is free, DB says.
Yep.
He said they parked there. That's a great idea. I'm glad you said that.
And the event, by the way, is free. You just come.
No
way. You just come and hang out. Now, you got fantastic food from Delaney's and the huge dining area with all these tables set out. Of course, you got the VIP area with Stoneman running point, guarding the VIP area so that nobody else can get in. You've got great food trucks right down the way, Cole. Rigsby's is here. Denny's is here. Bojangles is here. So many great food options just down there. Jeremiah's Italian Ice is here. Man, Salsaritas is here. So much great food to choose from. You find yourself a table, you hang out. Maybe you can get a spot over there right around the basketball court as we've got a little knockout tournament coming a little bit later.
A knockout tournament. DB, who do you have your money on? I mean, what are you feeling?
He didn't even have to think about it.
No hesitation there, man. DB went with the height advantage. All of a sudden, Diesel's getting the benefit of the doubt here. Oh, look, it's the Spartan from USC Upstate. Look at that. I mean, that's fantastic.
Buff, dude. He works out.
He does work out. I wonder how long it took him to get those biceps, man. And it's going to be hot in that suit. It's going to be hot. I've always wanted to be a mascot, but at the same time, like, it's got to be unbearable.
I've worn a mascot suit like that before. The mascot suit for one of our sister stations in our building, Cole, they're made of fleece.
Ooh.
And they're very, very hot.
Ooh, you don't say.
Very, very hot. Yeah, the one that I was in, Cole, had a fan that's in the helmet of the headpiece, but the fan was broken and it didn't work.
That's rough.
So I was out in like 90-degree heat in fleece, head to toe, with no ventilation whatsoever.
That doesn't sound pleasant.
No.
But I'll tell you what is pleasant. It's pleasant being in downtown Spartanburg, and we ask that you come out and see us. It's good to see our friend Mustin. Mustin will be here. Are you going to be here for a while, Mustin? Mustin from Kapasi Glass, fantastic listener of the show.
Yep.
Mustin texts me and listens. He is a Tolo. Good to see him. He just stopped by. So many people here, Diesel, in downtown Spartanburg for Morgan Square Madness. Also want to let you know, we brought up Ingalls a minute ago. We are, if you have not heard, if you do not know, we are back at Ingalls in November. Diesel. Huge announcement.
Yep.
I know October, Ingalls recouping from what they lost in the hurricane and still trying to get back on their feet. But wire to wire on location, Saturday scramble back on location beginning in November. I mean, 2 weeks from now, you and I will be back in Ingalls.
That's right. We're going to be back out on the road, and we're excited about that. We love doing those events. Number one, we love seeing our friends. We love seeing Ruby. We love seeing Melissa.
Yep.
We love seeing everybody, Sienna from the crew over
That's
there,
right.
and we enjoy spending time with them. Also, we know that they're good people, and we know that they are so involved with the community and everything they do with sponsoring sporting events, sponsoring community events like this, and of course, being a huge part in the recovery efforts in Western North Carolina. That's their home base, Cole. That's Black Mountain is where their distribution center is. And, we had Sienna on the show earlier talking about all of the efforts that they've made, saying that they, their corporate entity is kind of looking at Asheville like, hey, we've got Asheville back kind of where it needs to be at this point. Now we get to focus our efforts on more of the smaller and smaller communities around the Asheville area that were really badly hit and are very difficult to get into and deliver these supplies. As you said it earlier, we were incredibly fortunate here, essentially barely inconvenienced.
That's right.
In our lives, personally, you and I. That's not the same for all of our Tolos and all of our listeners. We know that Dan B here to our right, he was out of power for about 4 or 5 days longer than the rest of us were. And there are plenty of Tolos and listeners to the show, Cole, who had it far worse than that. So we appreciate Ingalls and all the efforts that they've made to get their community and our community, because it's all our community, back up and running.
And I cannot guarantee, I know we got to run the break, but I cannot guarantee that I'll be back behind the table in the next break. I might be on the dance floor. I'm just saying, I might be on the dance floor, DB.
So a DJ starts playing, Cole, and you start to boogie.
Come on now.
Is that the word? Okay. Is that how you do things? Okay, Cole, when we come back, we had some Tolos starting to put out some of the games that they were interested in the Upset Picks Challenge. I got to 1 or 2 of mine. I've got a few more that I'm looking at. And I kind of want to do what we did last week, Cole, and see if I can get you to talk me out of the games that I'm looking at. That's coming up next. That'll be on the other side of the break right here on the Fan Upstate, live from downtown Spartanburg at Morgan Square Madness. Cole, I'm going to need you to snag a photo real quick of what we see here at Morgan Square Madness and put that out on Twitter and show everybody who's not here.
Yeah, but the girls
what
did
they're
just walk
missing.
by. I thought I was taking a picture of her.
Do it now.
Thanks, Diesel.
Yeah.
No, not now. Not now.
A big party is going on right here at Morgan Square Madness, downtown Spartanburg, man. This event is blowing up, man.
No.
There are hundreds of people here having a good time as the band is still playing. Everybody's having an awesome time here today.
I just want to hear her play that funky music, White Boy, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Play that funky music.
I want to hear him play November Rain. Okay, Asheville R&B artist Lyric is on stage right now, presented by Ingles, doing an absolutely phenomenal job. And they got a heck of a bass player in that band over there. Can you guys hear that? If we stop talking for like a split second, they can hear it. But we'd rather you be here and come here and see it for yourselves and experience this and meet the Upstate Spartans men's and women's basketball team. That's what it's all about here at Morgan Square Madness. We got to say a huge thank you to all of the sponsors, especially Ingles, for making an event this phenomenal happen. We got to thank, of course, our friends at USC Upstate, Lenny Mathis, who we've had a chance to talk to, Charlie Ann Neslin, Director of Alumni Relations and Annual Giving. She's been here. There's dignitaries all over the place. Cole, the mayor of Spartanburg, Jerome Rice, is in the house. We've heard tell, though I haven't laid eyeballs on him, that Jeremy Clements, NASCAR driver, is here as well.
It's hard to see him. He's really short.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that out loud.
No, I would. He's shorter than me.
You sure that wasn't the kid that walked by just a few minutes ago? That wasn't Jeremy?
Let me see. Hold on a minute. I have not seen him yet.
I like how you looked low instead of looking high.
No, I have not.
Jeremy.
Jeremy Clements, by the way, he's an Xfinity driver for NASCAR. Went to Dorman High School. Spartanburg, guy. He's a super fantastic guy, but he's a short fella. He's a really, really short fella.
It saves weight. That's why they don't put.
And anytime I can call somebody short
in there,
anytime I get to call somebody short, are you kidding me?
That's why most people don't realize Michael Waltrip never won a whole lot of races in NASCAR because he's a tall guy, a lot of body weight, a lot of mass. Right? You still got to move that around. But if you can shave 40 pounds off of a 6'4" dude and have it in the package of a 5'9" guy, that's 40 pounds of weight savings.
It is.
And then your car's going to go faster.
And before we get to sports, do you like a good joke, little prank? You like pranks?
Of course I do.
I don't know how many of our Tolos do this, but I'm going to start this story right now. But it's going to be a developing story, right? It's in the news. Developing story. Breaking developing story on the Fan Upstate. I got a text earlier in the show that said hello, right? It's green, so I figured it's a bot because normal people have iPhones. I respond back and I say, who's this? The person responds back and says, I'm Erica. Is this Ann? I'm not sure. I added wrong. And I responded back and tell me if this was wrong. I said, yes, this is Ann, but I am not happy with you at all. So I don't know if you've ever had like one of these conversations with a bot, or maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's a real person or not, but I'm going to stretch it out as long as I can.
Yeah. See if you can get them to say a 4-letter word and get them to end the conversation. Yeah. Or just waste a lot of their time.
That's my real goal. That's my real goal. And by
there's
the way,
somebody in India right now who's very mad at you, Cole, for wasting their time.
That's white. Yes. Texter, by the way, said, LOL, no, it's not my real name. It's where I'm from. The natives gave me this nickname, Go Lions. That's Detroit texting into the show. I don't know, but is that the first time I've heard Detroit in the show? Have you heard him before? Detroit?
I think it's the first time. Yeah.
Detroit. Good to hear you, man.
Slam dunk over there on the half court that's set up with the Ingles logo right there on the backboard. Yeah. That's
Jeremy Clements.
No, unless there's a trampoline over there, and then, in which case it might have been. So, Cole, there's a couple of games that I've been looking at for our Upset Picks Challenge this week, and I want to see if you can talk me out of it, since now all of a sudden you've got some newfound skill at this challenge, and I'm now 3 weeks in a row that I have lost badly, by the way. Okay, so, Cole, I am looking at a team that was kind of a team of destiny early in the season. Georgia Tech plus 10.5 at Virginia Tech. Georgia Tech put up 41 points in their last true road game against North Carolina, who, by the way, has a putrid defense. We all understand that, Cole. But why should I not take Georgia Tech and the 10.5? Because I guarantee you, I'm not the only Tolo who's looking at this game.
You shouldn't take it because Haynes King is hurt. Haynes King's hurt. He didn't play last week, and he's day-to-day right now. So without their quarterback going, no, stay away. Do not bet anything or upset pick. No, stay away from Georgia Tech, Diesel.
Speaking of which, speaking of injured quarterbacks, we had this for you earlier. It's on their way to pick up Haynes King. You got to have to go a little bit farther south than this. We had this earlier, Cole, in our Daily Wires. Indiana's starting quarterback, Curtis Rourke, underwent surgery on his injured thumb, and he's not going to play this weekend, but they are expecting him to be back in 2 weeks. Without looking up Indiana's schedule, I don't know if they're going to need him to beat whoever it is on their schedule this week. It'd be even luckier for them if they have a bye. So we'll see. We'll see if Indiana can remain the team that they are. Cole, at this point, people are going big with big-time scores. If you want to have a chance to get back in this challenge and finish well, you got to go big. Why should I not take Oklahoma and 20.5 points on the road at Ole Miss? Jackson Arnold is the quarterback of this team. At least he should be now. Why would you burn his red shirt and then not play him? That would be absolutely absurd. I understand it's a little bit of a reach, but why should I steer clear?
Well, Ole Miss is just too explosive an offense, right? They lead the SEC in yards per game. They lead the SEC in points per game. Obviously, Jackson Dart has a lot to do with that. Jackson Dart's third in the nation in passing yards, 8th in completion percentage, 1st in per yards attempt. He's thrown 14 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. If he plays well, the other team, and it doesn't matter who the other team is, if Jackson Dart plays well, Ole Miss will win. So I would say when you talk about Ole Miss and their running game, the way they're able to run the football, Diesel, I feel like they will be able to control time of possession as well as cash in, score points. I don't have a lot of trust in Oklahoma's offense. It really doesn't matter who the quarterback is. So I'd say, look, the reason you don't stay away, or the reason you don't pick that one, the reason you stay away is simple. It's Jackson Dart.
Final one for you, Cole, that I want you to dissuade me from. Give me a good reason why I shouldn't go full Darth Vader, turn to the dark side, and pick against my App State Mountaineers at home. They are hosting Georgia State. Georgia State's getting 8 points in this one. Both of these teams are winless in Sun Belt play. Why should I not take Georgia State?
Because you're never supposed to pick a game that's near and dear to you. You're never supposed to do it. It doesn't matter if you're for them or against them. No, stay away. And the other reason that I would give you, Diesel, is you know what would happen. You know what happens if you take Georgia State plus 8. It'll be the game that App State comes out and wins by 30. And you're thinking, well, what the crap did I just do? Picking against my team, and look what my team does.
Well, the good news is, Cole, if I do that, I win either way. Because I win in the Upset Picks Challenge if Georgia State gets their very first win against App State.
That's a good idea. Pick it.
Yeah, and then if App State wins the game, then the team that I'm a fan of gets a win.
Yeah, they do. It's a good strategy. I would say do it. Go ahead and pick against them because you're right. You do win either way. It's going to be I don't know,
Remember,
man.
This is a Georgia State team. Didn't this Georgia State beat Vandy?
Yeah.
Well, who is Vanderbilt right now? Who is Georgia State right now?
Oh, I don't know, man. I tell you this. As I said in hour number 2 of the show, I've got a couple I'm looking at. I did find Duke SMU intriguing. Tell me what you think about this, Diesel and Tolos. And again, just so you know, the Upset Picks Challenge has not begun. It does not start. It does not open until tomorrow at 4 p.m. DB will lock those lines in off of ESPN.com at 3. But the Upset Picks Challenge is not open until tomorrow at 4. We're just seeing what games we might take a little look at. But why should I not? I mean, what do you think about Duke SMU? SMU, look, I know they're 22nd in the country. They're 6-1, undefeated in conference play. It's a good SMU football team. A lot of people pick this team to finish as the runner-up in the ACC. Duke 6-1 on the season. They're the home team. They're 2-1 in conference. Malik Murphy's a good quarterback, but he's not like this special difference maker kind of guy that's going to be a game breaker. So I do have interest in that game, though, from the standpoint of the Upset Picks Challenge. Duke SMU, I have to, as I told you earlier, Diesel, I'm at the point where I'm so far back in this challenge, I have to pick 10 and above. Last week I picked 10.5, and I'm going to stay around that, I believe. I might go a little higher, maybe a little lower, but why not Duke SMU, man? That seems like an intriguing game.
Well, you said it right there. Even with Malik Murphy, Duke is not scoring a lot of points. When they're playing FBS teams, Cole, they're struggling to score 3 touchdowns and more. I mean, they've got recently they've put up 23 points on Florida State, 21 points on UNC, 26 points on UConn. Outside of that, Cole, they haven't scored a ton of points this year. They only scored 14 in a loss against Georgia Tech. Yeah, they put up 45 on Middle Tennessee State. The strength of this Duke football team is not the offense. The strength is the defense. Maybe they can slow SMU down, but do we really think this Duke offense has the ability then to go and outscore SMU?
That's my problem. No, I mean, that's the issue. The only way is if they could somehow just have the defensive performance of a lifetime, right? Like, that's the only way. Because, look, Malik Murphy's not a bad quarterback. By the way, I think Grayson Loftus should get a shot. Grayson Loftus, the former Gaffney Indian from right here in the upstate, I think he should get a shot. I mean, he's been – anytime he came in last year for the Blue Devils, he looked really, really good. And maybe he needs to get a shot. So I did look at that one. I have a lot of upset picks that I like that are like 3-4 point spreads, But again, what good does that do me? Nebraska, tell me if I'm wrong. Don't we have a Nebraska Tolo out there somewhere?
We do.
Is that DB?
DB is a Nebraska Tolo.
I
think he's got a Nebraska tattoo.
He does.
He's a Nebraska tattooed Tolo.
That's an elite level of Tolos. I don't know. Like, I tell you what I'd love to do this season. I would love to be able to pick an NIU Northwestern type game. What I mean is, yeah, we can all pick upsets at some point in the season, Diesel. Most of us can. But I would like to be able to hit on a grand slam. Nebraska versus Ohio State. May I present to you a trap game for the Buckeyes where Ohio State is favored by 25.5 points at home on Saturday, Diesel? I mean, what don't show me what you're showing me right now.
The ESPN matchup predictor gives Nebraska a 3.4% chance to win this football game. Look, if I'm a Nebraska fan, and it's a good thing, it's a good thing that DB is not within earshot of us at the moment.
He was a minute ago.
That is patently embarrassing to only have a 3% chance to win. I mean, it's absolutely absurd. You look at what happened to Nebraska last week against Indiana. They gave up 56 points.
Yeah,
56 points.
So they'll probably give up a little bit of points to.
I mean, this Nebraska defense, Cole, can be phenomenal. Yep. They gave up 7 points to Rutgers. They gave up 10 points to Purdue. They gave up 3 points to Northern Iowa. I don't know if Northern Iowa is any good this year, but in years past, UNI has been a good FCS team. But hey, you hold any team, no matter who they are, to just a field goal, you've had a good defensive day. But then again, they gave up 56 to Indiana. They gave up 31 in a loss to Illinois. They are all over the place defensively.
So what you're saying is they have no shot.
No.
So you're going to talk me out of that.
I encourage you to take it. I think you should.
See, that's wrong. That's wrong of you to do that. That's very wrong. I also looked at Notre Dame Navy for the Upset Picks Challenge, Diesel. That game's at noon on Saturday. Navy. This one's one I'm high on. And again, I don't know if 24 hours from now I'll be high on it. But Navy's a 12.5 point dog here. A 12.5 point dog to a Notre Dame team that does have a good defense, but they've already shown this season that they are vulnerable in areas. Navy, by the way, they're 6-0. I think Navy, Diesel, having this game at home, in MetLife Stadium, we talked about that yesterday, I think they come into this with a chip on their shoulder of an underdog mentality. And I'm telling you, right now, this is number one on my leaderboard. I really like Navy on Saturday to pull the upset.
Well, this is not some This is not some like one-off game. Notre Dame and Navy have been playing each other very, very regularly for a long time, and I'm going to look up and see the comparison on how these two teams have fared against each other over the years, Cole, because they've played each other a lot of times. They have played each other, 94 times. Notre Dame has won 80 of these games.
So that's not good.
No.
Did you?
Notre
80?
Dame was on a 43-game win streak.
Oh my
From
God.
1964 to 2006. And I think the reason why you shouldn't pick this game, Cole, is you want it too bad. Like, you want Army Navy in a couple of weeks to be two undefeated
I really
teams.
do, yeah.
You really, really do.
Oh,
And,
but Navy's, you don't mean Navy? I mean, you're not giving them a chance? I mean, come on.
No, I think they have a chance. I genuinely do think they have a chance in this football game. They have a chance to walk out without anybody getting injured. They have a chance to catch the bus back to campus. They have a lot of chances in this one.
You're wrong for that. You're wrong. It should be interesting, though. Here's the reality of it. Like, let's call it like it is here. It doesn't really matter who I pick this week. And I'll tell you why. What's the odds that I hit 2 weeks in a row? The odds are not high. So it's almost this week like, if I'm going to hit big and come back in this thing and actually finish with a decent spot, this is the week I might as well just go all out, because I'm not going to hit regardless. There's no way I hit 2 weeks in a row unless I choose like a 3-point game or a 3.5-point game. Oh, and then whoop-de-doo. You know, I've got 3 points on the season, which will account for 3 losses earlier in the season. So at this point, I'm thinking I might swing big for the fences and go about 15 points.
I think Marcus Freeman has got this team refocused after that embarrassing loss to Northern Illinois a few weeks back. I don't think Notre Dame's going to slip up again, right? You caught them slipping. Marshall caught them slipping 2 or 3 years ago, and that kind of tends to happen to Notre Dame quite often. It seems like they're good for one of those head-scratching upsets in the wrong direction for them every year. But I don't think they're gonna get hit by a second one of those, Cole. I genuinely don't.
Before we run to a break, are you getting nervous yet? There's a big crowd over there.
I'm getting nervous that this buffet is going to be out of food by the time we get to it.
That's a fair point as well. But I'm just saying, that I'm looking over there, and I know that in a few minutes from now, you and I have to break away from the show early to go be in a celebrity knockout contest. I don't know if I perform well when the lights are bright, but I'm telling you, I've got to get at least 10 to 12 warm-up shots.
Yeah.
If they don't let us have warm-up shots, I'm going to protest the outcome.
I want to be behind you. Can I shoot behind you?
I don't want anybody to be behind me.
Well, that's the problem.
I don't want anybody.
Somebody has to be behind you. That's how it works.
The most unathletic, fattest. Oh wait, I can't be behind myself. I don't know who I'm gonna try to measle my way. Is there a female out there? I'm gonna try to measle my way.
You're gonna WNBA this thing right now and hope. Man, what if it's a future Caitlin Clark behind you?
My luck, it will be. First round, bam, Cole's gone.
You guys are hearing this event really starting to pop off. We've got the MC over there throwing around some.
What are they throwing? What are they doing?
No, he's just pumping up the crowd.
Oh.
You've got the USC Upstate cheerleading team out on the court doing their thing. Man, this is a great event. This is a great event. DJ Shea is back there on the kit, man, having a good time. And we want to see you guys out here. Just because our show is ending at 7 o'clock, Cole, this event is not ending at 7 o'clock. DJ Shea is doing his dance party on the court at 8:20. That's going to go until 9 o'clock, Cole. So 2 hours. Look at you showing off the dance move. See, Cole's trying to sandbag right now. He's not going to stretch out, but he is going to boogie in his chair just a little bit.
I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm nervous.
It's gonna be a good time. And the question for you, Tolos, who do you believe makes it farther in this knockout challenge?
Don't do that.
Me or Cole?
That would be good.
Text in 71307. Start your text with keyword fan.
All right.
Or message us on the stream.
Final segment of the show before we cut out. Final segment that Diesel and I will be with you. There will be one more segment after that, but it'll be a pre-recorded segment. But in the very next segment, I want to get into this World Series that starts on Friday. I mean, this really is the dream scenario for the MLB. Who do you have? Dodgers, Yankees? We'll get into that next. Final segment with Diesel and I live on location. The last segment will be pre-recorded because of the fact that in about 20 minutes from now, Diesel and I will have to do a celebrity free throw contest. DB, are you sticking around for that, by the way? So he'll be able to call into the show tomorrow and give a true analysis of Diesel and I's basketball game, where we need improvement, where we need to get better at, so on and so forth. So, and I believe we also have some other Tolos out there as well.
I know. He told me he was going to stand behind the goal and take his shirt off to distract you.
It'd be a pretty good distraction. Speaking of distraction, the MLB does not have that problem in the postseason because all eyes are on the World Series. Diesel, Dodgers, Yankees. You know, we talked about it earlier in the show. I don't think that it's good for baseball every year to be Dodgers, Yankees, like the two blue bloods. We know that in basketball, we like a Cinderella every now and then. The ratings may disagree with me, but it does add a little added value, a little flavor that we're not used to. But I will say this. I think for this season, having the Dodgers and Yankees in the World Series after a few years now where we've seen the Braves, we've seen the Phillies, we've seen the Nationals, we've seen the Rangers win it all last year, I think this is an absolute dream scenario for the MLB.
Well, it is because you get the two biggest home run hitters in the game, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, going at each other. It feels like it's been a long time, right?
It does.
It feels like it harkens back a little bit to the McGuire-Sosa home run races to see who is going to break the home run record. So, it feels like we got a little element of that. It feels like now multiple times through the game, there's the possibility of somebody hitting a big-time home run and really busting this game wide open. So, as far as the MLB is concerned, this entire game, every game in this series is going to be must-watch from start to finish. You can't turn the TV off because anything wild could happen.
You know, it's fascinating when you look at these two opponents. And by the way, we're going to go to break in about 5 minutes. Are we good for 5 minutes? Are we good, or you need us now? 5 minutes? Perfect. 6:35. We may go to break a little earlier, but when you look at this, we talked about this last week in terms of like who would be watching, Braves fans. I'll say this: I'm 100% watching every game, all 7 games. I think it has a very good possibility of going 7 games. So as a Braves fan, I say absolutely sign me up. I'm all in for Dodgers, Yankees, and I'll be watching every game. And I'm not a fan of either team, and I don't have anybody on either team that I actually like or pull for. However, this series, as riveting as it is, I'll be watching every single game.
Well, good thing is we're going to get to come back on Monday, Cole, and have 2 games to talk about.
That's right.
We're going to be talking about the Friday night game 1 at LA, as is game 2. That's Saturday night. And then they'll take a day off, fly to New York City, play game 3 Monday night, October 28th in New York City. My favorite thing about this, Cole, and this is just a product of the times that we live in, I love that every single game is on the same network. And I know I get that network. They're not bouncing around. They're not moving it from here to there to wherever. I know where I'll be able to watch, and they're all on Fox.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it should be a good call on both of them. But, look, in terms of who will win, I think the Dodgers this season are on a mission. I really do. I think the Dodgers are on a mission to prove that even with some very key injuries, they're the best team in baseball. Dave Roberts has done a fantastic job, in my opinion, this year, especially this postseason, managing the team. I think they're all in, and I think Dave Roberts should get a lot of credit. I'm just really high on the Dodgers. The Yankees are a good team, but if you ask me right now who I think is going to win it all, I'm going L.A. I'm going Dodgers, Diesel.
Interesting. I mean, New York's got a top-to-bottom great hitting lineup. Aaron Judge is a monster. You get that. You get guys on base, and he's going to put the ball in play, and he might get one over the fence. It feels like it took him the entire offseason till he got one middle of last week. And now that those floodgates have opened, I think Aaron Judge is going to go yard a couple of times in this World Series. And man, I am so excited to watch this happen. I've said many times that regular season Major League Baseball doesn't interest me at all. It's a cut the grass sport.
Yeah.
You turn it on, You come back and
Turn it off.
Turn it off, right? Not here on this show. You turn
No,
it
that's
on,
right.
you leave it on. But now that we're in the World Series, this is must watch. Every single pitch, I'm going to be hanging on.
That is going to do it for Diesel and I Live. The very last segment of the show will be pre-recorded. Ben in the Ingles Market Studios done a fantastic job for us today. Shout out to Ben. Diesel and I have to get over to the stage for this celebrity free throw contest. And Tolos, we will see you tomorrow, 5 o'clock fight, and the Upset Picks Challenge opens. We'll see you then.